right, family, peace and black power. You already know what it is. We just, got another debate after party. You know what I mean? Just had another debate between Domo and Lucky. Let's see. Domo was able to come away with the win. Congratulations to him, and shout out to Lucky for putting up a fight. The debate actually was close. Give me 1 second, and I'll give y'all the scores. Uh, let's see. I don't have actually. I do have the individual scores. I gotta do the math in my head because I just got the total scores. All right, I'll just give y'all the total scores for now, as I got to figure this out. Let's see. The total scores was Lucky received an 82 and Domo received an 84. That was the final score, 84 to 82. I gotta do the math in my head to figure out which judge had what. I know one. I'll figure it out. Give me 1 second, family. Let's see. So let me just talk about this debate real quick. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, family. All right, give me 1 second. I gotta wait a second before I put the link out there. Let me see. I'm having a long night, family. I'm having a long night. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. We had a lot of technical difficulties all night long. I had technical difficulties in the beginning. I don't know what the fuck happened to my shit. Lucky was struggling all night. Domo audio conked out on him, and I think it was a rebuttal round. Give me a second. I gotta send this link out real quick before I get the link out to everybody else. Give me 1 second. All right. Give me 1 second, family. I'm trying to get. I'll talk about the debate real quick while I wait for that. Like I was saying, let's see. I'm very well versed with this topic. I understand both sides of the argument. Let's see. I heard some things in particular. I didn't get a chance to break down everything they were saying because I had a whole lot of shit going on. Let's see. I know Domo brought up Jameis Winston, and he's an interesting individual to me because like he actually was quarterback in the Bucks when my mans and them was playing for the Bucks, right? My mans and them used to play for the Bucks, and Jameis Winston was on the team, right? Some of y'all might know Gerald McCoy or know who Gerald McCoy is. That's my man's and them. And he played with Jameson. He was actually there before Jameson. I remember Jameis Winston's rookie year. They played the Redskins, and they played us in Washington. And I was at that game. And I remember I texted Gerald McCoy right before the night before the game when I got down to the DMV. I texted him the night before the game, doing what I do. I was talking a little bit of shit. You know what I mean? I told him, you gotta good luck tomorrow because you're gonna need it. I think that was my exact words to him and shit. And that motherfucker texted me back and was like, "Oh, you know them boys in trouble now. You done woke me up." He was like, I was kind of half-assing going into this game after this text. Oh, you done woke me up now. You better now they're in trouble. I'll be damned if the next day that motherfucker didn't go out there and get 2 sacks on my fucking team and 2 and shit. Like I was like, motherfucker, I hope I ain't caused that. Talking shit. But anyway, so I always found that interesting, But James Winston, I always think back to that rookie year. But yeah, he ended up being a failure. He was a turnover machine. He didn't do nearly as good in NFL as he did in college. So I understood Domo's point and bringing up Jameis Winston and how they were so bad with Jameis Winston, and then they got Tom Brady, who actually was able to get them to a championship. Now, mind you, there's a huge difference between like when and like it wasn't no clear distinction, right? Like, because this could have went either way, right? Because the question is, when you say, do they need a quarterback? Most people think elite quarterback, right? And you don't need an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl. History will tell you such, right? You do need at least a game manager or a serviceable quarterback. You know, people that actually, you know, because I saw they brought up Peyton Manning, who is historically an elite quarterback who won a Super Bowl on a down year, right? As a matter of fact, I would argue that both Super Bowls Peyton Manning won, he didn't play good in the actual Super Bowl. You go look at Peyton Manning's Super Bowl numbers, like in the actual game, they're not that great. They're not that great. I saw that Matt Castle got mentioned. I thought that was interesting, and this is one that I thought Luky missed out on, but he mentioned it, but well, it got mentioned, but he didn't really hammer home point, and Domo was able to slip that by him and shit. Because what people don't realize, he mentioned that Matt Castle got a big contract after that year. The part he forgot to mention, though, was that Matt Castle actually won 11 games that season and missed the playoffs, right? Because this was if I'm mistaken, this was the Miami Wildcat year. Remember when the Miami Dolphins had the Wildcat and everything else? They was doing all those crazy gimmicky plays with with Brown and Ricky Williams and shit. And the Dolphins won like 12 or 13 games, and they won the division that year. And the Patriots won 11 games with Matt Castle and missed the playoffs because like 11 games wasn't good enough to get you in that year unless you won the division. That was a rough year for the AFC. It'd be just winning 11 games and not winning the division. So they got squeezed out. So, but it wasn't because of Matt Castle though, because like to Lucky's point, Matt Castle was able to get a big contract after that because he did play well and got him 11 wins. He just, again, Miami had that Wildcat shit. And they was able to get that off. But and then what else? Let's see. The left tackle got mentioned. Domo was kind of dismissive of that left tackle, but I kind of agree with that point. If you ain't got no good left tackle, any quarterback can tell you they're cooked. They're cooked without a left tackle because every team's best pass rusher is coming from that blind side. Because that's the quarterback's blind side for the most part, unless you're a lefty quarterback, that's your blind side. So they spend big money on left tackles for a reason. Because without a good left tackle, your quarterback is fried. He's going to get beat the fuck up, right? One more, a couple more things before I pass the mic to Angel. Domo, Domo got it off in the rapid fire. I don't know how the judges saw it, but he totally was filibustering through Lucky's rapid fire. Like he kind of was like he wasn't answering questions, and he kind of was like, you know, like controlling the narrative in the conversation. And Lucky kind of caught that. I was like, so you're not going to answer my, like he caught him filibustering, and then Domo was like, all right, repeat the question. And then Lucky was like, shit, I forgot what the fucking question was. I had to laugh, right? Because I hate when that happens to me. That happens to me a lot. Like, you know, motherfuckers start filibustering and shit and everything else. And I'm trying to get a point out. And by the time they finally done filibustering and asked me what was the actual question, shit, by that point, I done forgot what the fucking question was. So he had to move on. So the tactic worked because Domo was able to actually not answer the question that he clearly was trying to avoid. I don't even remember what the fucking question was. That's how good he was filibustering up in that shit. Like, I just lost track. But one more last thing, because I got to mention this. Y'all mentioned Doug Williams. Y'all mentioned Doug Williams. Y'all know I'm a Redskin fan. And Lucky, I got a cookie. I got a cookie. You was wrong about Doug. Shout out to Doug Williams, first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl. I got a cookie though. You was wrong about Doug. You said Doug didn't do shit, and the Redskins the 1-0. I mean, excuse me, the Redskins was still won without Doug Williams. That's cap. That's cap. Our backup quarterback was Jay Schrader, and that motherfucker, they was going back and forth. Like, Doug Williams didn't start that whole year. Doug Williams started in the beginning of the season, and then he got hurt. Jay Schrader took over. He was struggling, and it was a quarterback competition going back and forth, going all the way to the playoffs. And then right before the playoffs, they decided to roll with Doug Williams because the offense looked better with him. And then he rolled us to the Super Bowl, right? But we would have won that Super Bowl without Doug. Let's do not get it fucked up. I got to say that. I can't stress that enough. He scored 4 touchdowns in the second quarter of the Super Bowl. That's still a record to this day, if I'm mistaken. 4 touchdowns by the time the second quarter was over and we got to halftime, that game was over already. Doug lit him up. But yeah, my bad. I'll go ahead and pass the mic. We got Angel and Mo up here. What's going on? I know I put y'all to sleep with all that football talk. They ain't even there. See, they done went away from the computer. I done bored them tears. I can keep going.
Sorry about that.
All right.
Okay. I'll just give the scores real quick. I think Mo, maybe she's having trouble, so she just dropped down. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'm just going to read the scores real quick, and then I guess when Mo comes up, if we want to discuss what happened and go over notes, it's really up to you all. So for Domo, I'll just go down for my scores. For his open, I gave him an 8. For his premise, he got an 8. For his rebuttal, he got an 8. For his rapid fire, he got a 9. And his closing, he got a 9. So he had a 42 from me. From Mo, she gave him a 9 in his open, a 9 in his premise, an 8 in his rebuttal, an 8 in his rapid fire, and an 8 in his closing. She also had a 42. So between the two of us, it was a 42, totaling 84. And for Lucky, I had 8s across the board for him, totaling a 40. And for Mo, she had an 8 in the open, 9 in the premise, 9 in the rebuttal, 8 in the rapid fire, and an 8 in the closing, which totaled a 42. And that gave him a 82 total. So the thing here, it took me a second. I had to add it up twice. Mo had a 42 for both. Domo and Lucky, but she gave the debate to Domo. So numbers, again, for the regular season, a tie can happen when you add up the scores, but you do have to still make a decision on who won. So I think she texted Psycho and told him that Domo was the winner, if I'm not mistaken. And then for myself, I had Domo up by 2 points. For me, what it was, I'll just say quickly what it was for me. Domo's argument, and I can go over the notes if need be. His argument on how I get what the topic was. The topic was, do you need a quarterback, which is very generalized. And what he chose to do as the affirmative was frame his argument with you can basically be elite, because he showed a lot of elite examples, but you can also be serviceable. It didn't translate well for me. I'm just being honest and open. It sounded like it was a covering all bases, where I'm going to make it difficult for the negative to really argue anything. I got what he was doing. He was allowed to do it because the topic was very vague, very generalized is what I should say. But the way he presented the open, it was an 8 for me. Same with the presentation, because it just didn't feel definitive. It was a lot of examples and things like that, but the examples were so widespread widespread. I'm giving elite and I'm giving serviceable. So that was also at 8. His rebuttal was at 8, but then what made him pull way out for me was the rapid fire. I agree with you. I don't think that he only dominated Lucky's because, not answering the questions doesn't necessarily mean dominating. I did think that he did well in Lucky's rapid fire, but I think he did ultra well in his own rapid fire. So that's why he got a 9 for me in his rapid fire. The way he was able to frame the questions, and Lucky tried to avoid answering the questions. At some point, he did kind of agree with one part about where he answered quarterback. I would have to go over the notes there. And then, of course, Domo was able to follow through with the notes and his with the information in his closing and what he was able to verify and prove. So that's why he got a 9 from me in the closing. So that's really what it was for me. I'm not sure. Mo's kind of was the opposite, where she gave Domo 9s in the beginning, then they dropped down to 8s. So I'll, hopefully if she's able to come up, she can give that information. And then as far as Lucky, the open again, it was a little bit better than the last debate where he got an 8 this time, but he still went a little bit too much into his premise. He started giving examples and things like that. Then he kind of stopped himself and said, okay, I'll save that for later. But it was better. I did understand what his argument was going to be as the negative, and it kind of just carried that way through. I did like how he, what kept him with these 8s for me was when he talked about what the affirmative was doing that he didn't like. He was saying, I'm thinking that we're talking about determining factor, not just them being serviceable. So I thought that was great, but the problem is the topic said, do we need a quarterback? And the affirmative framed the argument the way he chose to. It was very widespread. And when they came together in the rapid fire, Domo dominated that round. So that's what made him pull away from me.
Okay. All right. And let's see. You read off her scores already? You read off hers?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I ain't got to look at it. All right. So, yeah. So that's everything, family. There go the scores. I gave my little skinny on it. I can get deep into it. I'm sure it's about to go down. Let me know when you're ready. I can drop the link. Angel.
Oh, go ahead. I'm dropping down unless somebody needs to talk to me.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and drop the link. Get that out there now. Just want to make sure you was done. And there you go, family. Links out there. All right. Let's see. Let me try to pin this. Give me 1 second. Pin this. Get to this. Give me 1 second. I don't know what's taking this thing so long. Right, there we go. All right. There you go, family. Links out there. Let me know what's hood. Let me know what y'all want to talk about. Let's see. Lucky Guys 80. Good job, Lucky. Yeah, shout out to Lucky. Shout out to Lucky. It was a close debate. Couple of angles he could have probably took. I actually agree with his position. If y'all can't tell, I actually do agree with his position. Because it's a whole bunch of slew of people he could have threw out there. It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, we can get into like, because it's a very nuanced thing, right? Because you got situations like Peyton Manning, who is an elite quarterback, who played horrible in the Super Bowl, and their team still won, right? So you got that scenario going on. Of course, we got, the quarterbacks who really ain't historically good, never will be in the Hall of Fame. Trent Dilfer is a popular one. People mention him. Nick Foles was mentioned. Let's see, Mark Rippon for the Redskins had like 2 good years worth talking about. One of them, he won the Super Bowl. After that, he kind of fell off the face of the earth, right? Let's see who else. I'm not a big fan of Eli Manning. Don't even get me started with Eli. I could cook Eli, but we're gonna leave Eli alone. I'll let y'all have Eli, but I'll cook him though. There's a couple of these motherfuckers that could get cooked. That's either borderline Hall of Famer or Hall of Famer who I don't necessarily. Let's see. I saw Bob Greasy mentioned in the goddamn chat. Hell no, them goddamn '70s Dolphins. They did not win because of Bob Greasy. Bob Greasy was a game manager. That's all he was a game manager. Now, again, are we talking about do you need an elite quarterback or do you just need a game manager? And then we got to ask, are you saying that the quarterback has to play solid in the Super Bowl? I would argue against both. I would argue against both. Right? You don't need an elite quarterback, and you don't need your quarterback to even play good in the Super Bowl to win that motherfucker. I like Brett Favre. Brett Favre played in the one Super Bowl Brett Favre won. He wasn't even a motherfucking MVP. Let's talk about that shit. Can we talk about that real quick? The one Super Bowl Brett Favre won, he wasn't even the MVP. But everybody remembers Brett Favre won the motherfucking Super Bowl, right? But no, he was not the MVP. I'm not looking at chat. Link not working. Okay. Yeah, I was just looking. I was just talking. Excuse me. I'm wondering why nobody coming up here. Okay. I was about to say y'all bullshitting around. All right. But yeah, that 1 year, he did not win the MVP. Why isn't that link working? I grabbed the wrong shit. Give me 1 second. Why isn't that link working? All right, let's try this again. I don't know why it's not working. Give me a second. I might have grabbed the wrong shit. All right, let's try this again. Let's try it again. See if this works. I don't know why they working. Let's try that again. See if that works, family. See if that works. That should work. I don't know why the first one didn't. Why didn't the first one work? I don't know. All right, let's try it again. But yeah, Brett Favre didn't even play good enough to win the motherfucking MVP of this one Super Bowl he won. And like Jim Plunkett for the Raiders, just like Eli Manning, got 2 motherfucking Super Bowls. But unlike Eli, he ain't never gonna sniff the Hall of Fame. Jim Plunkett will never sniff the Hall of Fame, and that motherfucker got 2 Super Bowls.
See, this what I'm saying, bro. Like the shit you talking about, Psycho. Y'all niggas couldn't have paid attention to the actual premise because the literal contention is talking about the spectrum, the top and the bottom. The significance of a quarterback has a spectrum, but it has a bottom. So that means you have niggas that win Super Bowls like the elites. You have niggas that win Super Bowls that become the face of franchises. But when niggas talk about niggas that haven't shown, like, regardless of what niggas say about Eli, he made plays that assisted that defense. You can't say Nick Foles was trash. You can't say Russell Wilson was trash. Like Jalen Hurts, all of these people exist on a spectrum, but at a bare minimum, Trent Dilfer represents the level of serviceability necessary.
See, and that you just I'm glad you mentioned Russell Wilson because that was my other argument. I argue the system makes like Russell Wilson would never been a Super Bowl quarterback in another system.
Hey, hold on, but here's the thing: that system doesn't work without a quarterback that could execute it. You can have a great system.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
Like you need somebody.
That's my point. So
that's within the West Coast offense, you need somebody who can run the West Coast offense. I agree that.
And so,
that's why I said. Okay.
So it wasn't just that. It wasn't just that he worked within the system is that he executed in the way that the system needed in order to get to where they got to. Like that's a mandatory.
But doesn't every other position need to execute?
No,
Yes.
no.
If the lineman don't execute the block,
you
can't run the
disguise
ball.
flaws. You can disguise flaws everywhere else on the field. A flawed quarterback is a death nail in a talented roster.
They disguise
Period.
flawed quarterbacks all the time. Did you not see Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl? How did they disguise him?
No. We know that Peyton Manning was. We know that Peyton Manning again, because here's another issue that we have. I'm willing to concede that there are exceptions that literally, I think, like for example, Peyton Manning meets the level of serviceable in that Super Bowl. He was serviceable. No, he wasn't. He wasn't a star. No, he didn't light up the. But he didn't give the game up because the person that has more of an opportunity to give the game up than anybody else is the quarterback. Fumbles and interceptions kill teams, kill victories. Like you can literally, the quarterback can literally snatch victory from the, you know what I'm saying, or snatch defeat.
So was Cam Newton not serviceable in that game?
No, he literally didn't jump on a fumble. He literally gave a fumble up.
So one play made him unserviceable compared to.
When you're built on Cam Newton was supposed to be elite. He was an MVP.
Yeah, he argued it wrong. That's what that is. You argued that wrong because that's the argument. The MVP is on the other side. He's supposed to win that game, according to Damo's argument.
No, I'm not. See, that's the point though, and this is where I feel like this is where I think niggas is like I get docked for like playing a level above is because I'm willing. Hold on. I'm willing to concede that there are exceptions, but the exception doesn't disprove the rule. So if you look at the Super Bowl winners, the majority of Super Bowl winners are elite level or franchise level quarterbacks. There's a handful of niggas that you and in no world does a handful of mother.
I don't know how you can concede anything. I mean that's weird to me how you think you can
listen because nothing is absolute. The argument doesn't have to be absolute. I don't have to say that
it's absolute that you don't need a quarterback. That's absolute.
It's not, but he's not even saying that. He's saying the quarterback matters. He's not even saying that.
That's why I said distinctions matter. Like that's why I said y'all talking about like, do you need like a serviceable game manager, or are you saying you don't need a serviceable game manager? Like, do they have to be elite?
But that's what I'm saying. Serviceable.
He said.
I said serviceable literally means a quarterback that can execute NFL throws, open niggas, right? Because we know there are quarterbacks who can't do that. Like you think about somebody like motherfucking Colin Kaepernick,
like Eli Manning.
Not
right.
Eli
Somebody who led the league in interceptions.
Eli made amazing throws, and when you
he made a play in 2007, and he played well in 2011. 2011 he played well. That was the best he ever played was 2011. But 2007 he made a play. I give more credit to the receiver than any goddamn play.
So are we not saying that majority of Super Bowl winners are Hall of Fame or elite level quarterbacks?
I would say they're Hall of Fame.
Most of them are not elite.
Yeah, I was about to say they don't make them elite. There's a lot of motherfuckers in the Hall of Fame that's not elite.
But that's a separate question. I'm asking something very specific.
Yeah, Super Bowl winning.
But it was a two-part question.
I would argue most Super Bowl winning quarterbacks are not elite.
Are not elite. No.
Exactly.
How can you? The majority of Super Bowl winning quarterbacks are literally Tom.
You went out.
The majority of Super Bowl winning quarterbacks is literally Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. You said what?
That's what. For everyone you can name, I can name you one that's not elite.
Not for everyone though.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Not for everyone. That's my point. And literally, I specifically focus because if we talking about, even Lucky said we talking about the present day NFL. So cool. Let's only talk about
I ain't lucky. I ain't lucky.
We only talking about from 2000. So cool. If we talking modern NFL, we talking about
dynasties. Did the Cowboys have a dynasty in the 70s?
I didn't make the dynasty argument, nigga. He did.
Yes, you did. You said that elite quarterbacks are the head of dynasties.
Every dynasty he named had a Hall of Fame level quarterback.
Every
so you just
dynasty I
going off the
name
ones
had
he
multiple quarterbacks
Troy
that won
Aikman.
championships.
Well, he's Troy Aikman, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, what's the name from Pittsburgh? Bradshaw, Terry Bradshaw.
I'll push back against Bradshaw.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said in the debate. Bradshaw is not
point.
elite.
But that's the
He's
point.
Hall of Fame, true, but I push back against whether or not he actually is a true Hall of Famer. Like I argue against Bradshaw a lot. Like
but that's my point though.
Yeah, you're gonna die on that.
There are quarterbacks that you can nitpick, right? But you're not.
You got 2 MVPs though. You ain't gonna be able to take them away. You got 2 of them.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying.
Played
so
well.
like,
he played well in the last 2 Super Bowls they played in. Really, the last one more than anything. But but that motherfucker got a career more interceptions and touchdowns in his career. He never threw, but for so many yards in the season. They won
right,
off
the point,
Rocky Blyer and the defense.
But Psycho, the point that I'm making though is specifically, it's not all about stats. It's really it's also what make niggas elite is also about moments. The reason why Eli is debatable is because what he did in moments. What Trent Dilfer did is things that he did in moments that kept the offense, that kept the team going, that put them in the production. A 96-yard touchdown. He threw for one of the longest touchdowns in Raiders history, or not Raiders, but Ravens history. Like, yes, he may not have the glowing, you know what I'm saying, Patrick Mahomes level stats, but what he did in moments is what put them in a position to do what they did. Because if he comes up short,
would you call Phil Simms elite? Would you call Phil Simms elite?
Now, listen. We're talking about the exceptions, right? So even if you think Phil Simms
wasn't elite either.
But that's my point though. If you think they're all exceptions, I'm okay with that. I'm agreeing that non-elite quarterbacks have won, but it's rare.
I'm saying
non-elite quarterbacks do not win. So literally,
like you still ain't
okay. So give me in the last 10 years. So in the last 10 years. In the last 10 years, who's won the last 10 Super Bowls? Who's won the most out of the last 10 Super Bowls?
I'm saying if you going up the last 10,
you would have in Kansas City.
Right, but even when Kansas City didn't win, the elite quarterbacks won. Matt Stafford won.
Matt Stafford is decent. Would you call him elite though?
Well, no, I call him a franchise quarterback. He's a franchise quarterback. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think like Eli Manning is a franchise quarterback. Russell Wilson is a franchise quarterback. To say that they wasn't put on a pedestal to represent their franchise and like to get to
they was I would say franchise quarterback.
And the reason why I call them franchise quarterbacks is because they get to multiple Super Bowls. Russ got the multiple. Jalen has been to multiple. Eli multiple. Like so, how are we saying that these niggas aren't?
So we talking about getting to the Super Bowl or winning it?
I mean, I think both matter. Both matter.
So that means we could throwing people like Rex Grossman and stuff like that up in this conversation too, right?
Nah, because I'm talking about getting there multiple times. Rex Grossman didn't get nowhere multiple times.
He got there though.
Like, listen, Russell Wilson. If it wasn't for a dumbass, well, that's where Russ kind of fucked up his own legacy. Really, trying to steal the shine. He fucked that up. He fucked himself up on that one. But he's literally a play away from having 2 Super Bowls. And we're not gonna call him a franchise quarterback. I mean, when he fell off, they got rid of him in Seattle. But there was a point where he was a franchise quarterback.
That's where I think Luky lets you slide at though, because right there, again, I think you speak against your own point. That's not needing a quarterback. That's and the Baltimore Marshawn Lynch.
Bro, but nah, Russell Wilson. That's what I'm saying. I disagree. Like, and that's why I'm willing to say I'm
laid it out. So I mean, you would have died on it. You said it, but
I wouldn't have because I'm literally making the argument. I'm literally making the argument that regardless of how the significance of those other roles, if the Seahawks, if Russell Wilson isn't the right player for that piece, then they don't get to where they at. Like, and because this isn't just about winning the Super Bowl. You literally have to make it through the regular season, win in the playoffs, and get to the Super Bowl. And you can't do that without a serviceable quarterback.
That's not the question. The question is, they're a play away from the Super Bowl. Do you put the ball in the quarterback's hands, or do you put the ball in Marshawn Lynch's hands? Right.
Quarterback. No, that's not it. Like, that's some shit that you making up. On the question of whether or not a team needs a quarterback.
Wait, that's some shit that really happened. What do you mean?
Yeah, and I also talked about some shit that really happened that showed that a quarterback has been central in changing a team from being on the precipice to literally putting them in the position to win.
He let you live off of that shit, but you ain't show me. You show me how that relates to Vinatieri kicking field goals and winning them games and getting them through Super Bowls.
Bro, if nigga, who threw the ball to get them in field goal position?
You don't win the game by throwing the pass.
Like, what are you talking about, nigga? That's what I'm saying. You can diminish the quarterback position if you want to, but you doing it at your own personal body.
It's not to diminish it. It's not to diminish it. It's to equal it to Adam Vinatieri. It's to equal it to
16 of the last 26 Super Bowls have been won by what you would call elite quarterbacks. 16.
That's what you would call elite quarterbacks.
Okay, so Tom Brady's not an elite quarterback. So you wouldn't call Tom Brady an elite quarterback? You wouldn't call Tom Brady elite?
Yes, Tom Brady is elite.
You wouldn't call Patrick Mahomes elite?
You're not going to get too much further from there.
Okay, so Patrick Mahomes isn't elite.
Was he elite this year? He win again? Hell no, he ain't elite. Fuck that bum. No, he elite. You got Patrick Mahomes.
Now it ain't even.
You got Mahomes and Brady.
Now
you got Mahomes and Brady.
Nigga has 3 Super Bowls.
Where you going from there?
He's injured this season.
Bruh, where you going from there though? You got them two. Where you going from there?
Because I'm literally talking about when they won Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes was elite when they won Super Bowls. Tom Brady was elite when they won Super Bowls, and he won 7.
And that's it. And I'm saying that
even if you willing to say, oh, he was serviceable because he got him in field goal range, that still proves my point. But he also won 7 of them, so he went from serviceable to elite.
How many times did they have a #1 defense?
That still don't take nothing. How many does every #1 defense win the Super Bowl? Does every #1 defense win the Super Bowl? No.
That shit, bro. No, he's a piece. He's a piece of the team.
Niggas, man, listen.
Because I'm not arguing.
Fuck all that.
I would say #1 defenses make it to the Super Bowl more than the highest rated quarterback.
But the highest rated quarterback, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, that doesn't diminish the significance of that quarterback, though, at all.
I'm not saying it diminishes it. I'm just
but
saying
the argument that you don't need a quarterback diminishes the significance of a quarterback.
I'm just saying it's more likely. I'm just talking about what I think is more likely.
But Psycho, and that's the position he gets where he gets all these arguments at once. You can't argue this shit with Cam Newton being the MVP going into the Super Bowl and being completely obliterated.
That's called an exception.
No,
how many times has it happened?
If he wins that Super Bowl, you call him elite.
How many times has it happened? So tell me how many times it happened.
How many times what happened?
How many times has what you're saying with Cam Newton happened? I can at least show you in modern eras a literally one change in quarterback leading to an immediate Super Bowl. I can show that. I can show majority of Super Bowls being won by what most would consider elite quarterback.
But the only thing you're showing with that is a ready-made team that a quarterback comes and plugs and play. You're showing a ready-made
can't plug and play. That's what I'm telling you. That's an assumption.
But Tom Brady can. You use Tom Brady.
Plug and play, bro. You can't plug.
That's what he did.
If plug and play worked, then Jameis Winston would have worked. He didn't. He didn't.
No, if you plug
and play would have worked, then Jameis Winston would have worked. He didn't. They had to get rid of him.
The Giants had notorious great defense in the 80s, right? Like with Lawrence Taylor, everything else. A lot of people rank him as the greatest defensive player of all time. Phil Simms played real well in 1986, right? I think he made like 20 out of 22 attempts on his passing and everything else, won MVP, and they won the Super Bowl. 1991 comes around, and Phil Simms goes out early, and an unknown backup named Jeff Hostetler steps in, and they still end up winning the Super Bowl. Beat the 49ers, gave Joe Montana his last game as the 49er and everything that in the championship game with a backup quarterback. Doesn't that speak more that the Giants defense was the catalyst more so than the quarterback?
That's called an exception, and I'm willing to say that those exceptions exist.
Not when they won
Yes.
2 championships.
That's not the majority of times of that. That's not the majority of Super Bowls that we see.
That's
Like,
insane,
yes,
bro.
Nick Foles came in and balled the fuck out. We don't even need to go back to Sims. Nick Foles and Carson Wentz.
Well, the reason why I went there because it was the only difference between the '86 team and the '91 team was the quarterback. And
Right, but even you don't even need to go to another season. Go to a quarterback goes down, and then the backup steps in and balls out just as much as the quarterback. There are exceptions that happen, but in order for us to say that you don't need a quarterback, you cannot rely on exceptions. And that's literally a hasty generalization fallacy to assume that a small sample size is reflective of like literally reflective of something bigger when literally the evidence doesn't point to that. A hasty generalization fallacy. And that's crazy that nigga, I'm talking about a nigga be cooking. And shout out to Luky because he did his thing too, played great defense and all of that. But like literally the shit that I'm hearing is bad. Like I covered my bases. That's wrong. I
didn't say your argument was bad. I didn't say it was bad. I said I would challenge it though.
No, I'm not. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily talking about what you were saying, but what I'm saying is like literally, like I prepared in ways that I guarantee maybe Taz, but nobody prepares the way that I prepare. Like I'm talking about the nth degree, the type of research that I do to get this shit done and to build these and craft these arguments. And it's like being docked for like the level of meticulous, like argumentation that has the ability to, I mean, be like that's I find that's baffling. That's baffling. Like the shit that I like the being like well, he's allowed to do that. Like that. When did that become a bad thing? If somebody takes a topic that could easily be spread and covered across all, like, why would I not cover all my bases? Why would I not create a ironclad affirmative? Why would I not do that?
That shit wasn't ironclad, bro.
Nigga, it was. It was.
No.
And Luky did his thing too. And Luky did his motherfucking thing. But that shit was, there was nothing I wasn't prepared for. Everything I was able to say in that debate, I thought about before this debate, and it was still relevant.
So, just because you thought about it, what that mean? That nigga said I thought about it.
Bro, because here's the thing. What that means is that even though it's already it's like it's pre-written, it's literally taken into account what can be said. Like to come to a debate not prepared to respond to arguments that I know is going to be made. I should never have to say nothing on the spot. If I'm properly prepared, I should be able to go whatever screen I want to and read because I know what's going to be said. Like that.
Yeah, I don't want
Taz, you don't think about what could possibly be said?
Hold on, Swarthy. Hold on, bro.
I don't want you to take what I said the wrong way as far as covering bases. It just wasn't definitive. Like I get it as an affirmative, you framed the argument. The topic was not worded in a specific way. It didn't specify elite or serviceable. But yeah, I felt like as an affirmative, it wasn't definitive. Typically, somebody has the definitive argument on what they're going to be presenting. And then the negative comes in and does their thing. So it sounds like you were pre-preparing for what the negative was going to do by just making two different arguments, kind of. I'm not really sure how else to say it I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just saying, I didn't necessarily think that was a 10, if that's what you were concerned about as far as your open. I thought it was framed as an 8 because you kind of said, I'm not saying this and I'm agreeing with that. It wasn't a definitive, this is what I'll be arguing and just sticking with that. I'm not sure how that doesn't make sense because I don't typically see you frame arguments that way.
There's no way that literally I'm definitively saying this means you need a quarterback. That's the topic. Here's the argument against it is to diminish the need for a quarterback. So even if you're saying that they don't need to be elite, I can recognize that exceptions exist. And even within those exceptions, there's a level of quarterback play that is required. Saying that that's not definitive is
right, but what you're talking, no, it's not insane. I don't think it was an insane judgment. You still won the debate. I think you're upset because you got an 8 in the round from me. The argument that you're making right now makes more sense later. It makes sense when the negative starts to try to tear down what you're saying. To have a topic of you need a quarterback, I mean, you could have said what you said you weren't going to do. You could have also added a quarterback being there means a quarterback is there. It's a very generalized topic.
No, but
hold on. Let me just finish my statement. It's a very generalized topic, in my opinion. And the way you framed it, I can go over the notes here. The notes were very brief because it felt like, you just kind of gave, it was a little bit of information that you, I guess you're doing this thing now where you are slowing down more and pacing yourself more. So it wasn't a lot for me to follow. You're now choosing not to present, I think, because one judge told you that they like it when you don't present. So that's something that's a little bit different. So just to go over your notes here, you said that you'll prove a competent quarterback is needed. Also, a serviceable quarterback is necessary. You said other positions are needed, but the quarterback is needed to clear the minimum functional threshold. You said they do not have to carry the team, but must not be responsible for losing the actual games. You said you will show historical patterns. You said the defense lead champs still require a serviceable quarterback. Non-functional quarterbacks can lose games. You then said you only have to prove again the team needs a quarterback that does not give the game away. You said you stand on elite quarterbacks, wins in general, but they are not necessary. So yeah, it didn't sound definitive to me. It wasn't bad. It was an 8. It was an 8. But because you're saying you can be serviceable or you can be elite. And the topic was just a general topic and there was nothing presented with it. It was, I'm sorry that you disagree with it, Domo. It was an 8 for me. I've seen you do opens that were much better, where your points of contention were much more clear. You showed a presentation along with it. I just didn't think it was a normal open like you normally do. That's just my opinion on what I saw there. I don't know if you'll see something different if you go back and look at how it was presented. I don't know. So,
I feel you. I think it's, I just can't. I can't see how you could draw that conclusion. You do, and you have, and the debate is over. You know what I'm saying? But just not being definitive is there's no I can't see that. I can't see how you got that from that.
I'm going to prove my point when Luky was able to say throughout the following rounds that he felt like you weren't being definitive. He felt that you were changing what he thought the argument was going to be, which he didn't gain a lot of points with that because the bottom line is it was a generalized topic. I think it was.
What does that mean when you say that? If it's a general topic, that means that there are holes to be filled.
Right. Because the assumption, because Luky and others said the assumption is elite. Right. So he came into this thinking it was elite. He had no choice but to kind of go along with your argument because he
had no choice because I was the affirmative.
I understand that.
So regardless of what assumptions, that's the point. And I had an entire rebuttal prepared because even the assumptions argument, I think he focused more on the conversation about whether or not it's the only role or the significance of the role. But if that became a part of the conversation, I was completely prepared to go in an entire direction about the assumption, because regardless of what assumption the negative makes, if their argument agrees with any degree to the affirmative, and these are pre-prepared arguments, I ain't seen his, he ain't seen mine, then that means that that assumption that he made has put him at a disadvantage as the negative.
Right. And that's what I was trying to
my argument at all.
Right. That's what I was actually saying. I don't know if I got to finish the statement. It was kind of an assumption going into it with him. And he had to adjust throughout the debate and say, well, I thought that this is what it was, but now I have to readjust my argument based off of serviceable. So again, I can ask you, what did you think you deserved in this open if an 8 wasn't fair?
I mean, at least a 9. Like, I understand that. But you know what? The 8, I think the opening, even though I'm kind of like how you responded to it, I think the 8 is, I won't say the 8's not fair. I don't agree with it, but it's other factors that you could contribute to that. So it's like, okay, cool, and it's an opening. So that has different rooms for error, and I understand that. So it's not even really the opening. I think it's that framing directed towards the premise, because the reason why I do specific contentions is so that my argument isn't understood as one blob of a position, but 3 very definitive statements being made. And the first statement points to the historical position that literally majority of these quarterbacks are elite quarterbacks or they're franchise level, but there are very few that meet the exception that they are trying to use to say that you don't need a quarterback.
Yeah, I understand. And I think I'm just telling you how it presented, and how it presented was a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I'm sorry if you feel like the way I'm very layman. I don't have to use big words to explain something. So I'm not trying to be insulting. This is just the way I explain things. So there's no mistaken. It felt like, again, the covering all bases is, this point of contention is you have, on one hand, we're going to talk about elite ones win it. But on the other hand, you don't necessarily have to be elite and you can win those too. So I like to see you get into this negative. I like to see you break this down because I'm covering all bases. Again, it's just the way it presented for me. It didn't feel definitive. It didn't feel like the 3 points of contention flowed with each other like they normally do. And I hate to even throw this monkey wrench in there. I personally like when you present. I feel like you changed that because you got feedback from someone that they felt that you, I think it was something to the effect of that you were, able to just flow with the information without anything on the screen. I like when you list your points of contention. I like when you show an actual presentation. Maybe that would have gotten you a 9. All judges are not the same. So, again, you tried something different. It still is good. It's not bad. It's just, it wasn't the norm that I see the way you frame an argument. You're usually very definitive. Even when you give an angle that people don't expect, it's usually one definitive answer that you're giving. And I just didn't get that from here. Where you pulled apart from me was how you were able to dominate the rapid fire. But before that, you were pretty much equally matched with him. And I don't know if that's because that's what happens in sports debates, which are very subjective and very opinionated, where it's just a bunch of comparisons. He's going to give 5 comparisons. You're going to give 5 comparisons. Everybody's kind of equally matched until the rapid fire happens. And, that's what happened there. So, I mean, if it means anything, Mo did give you a 9. She emailed me and she had an emergency. She had to drop down. So maybe later on, she can go over what she was thinking, because she gave you 9s in the beginning. And then in the last 3 rounds, she dropped down to an 8. Whereas I thought your scores increased as the debate went on, when you started to, rebut the points and then question Lucky head on, and then the way you close kind of tied it up for me. I gave you a 9 in that. But the open, I don't know. I just, I can probably watch it a million times and I don't think it would change anything. It just didn't feel like a definitive affirmative. That's all I have. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that's the subjective nature of the activity. I mean, I get it. Yeah, I'm just, I, yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, you got an 8. You felt you deserved a 9. Was it anything else? Any other rounds that you're questioning?
Nah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I appreciate the 9 in the rapid fire, but I feel like I kind of struggled a little bit at the beginning. He answered that one question with the coach when I was like, "What's one of the most important roles?" That nigga said, "Coach." I was like, "Well, yeah, it is true, but I can't admit that." You know what I mean? So I feel like I appreciate it, but just I think that it's certain things that it's a certain way that I look at debate. And it is very technical. Like I look at it like a chessboard. You know what I mean? And I can't, like, everybody don't look at it the same way. Like this is more, it's a bit more, certain things are a bit more subjective. I mean, because like for me, I feel like it's like, for me personally, I feel like when I'm building a debate, it's certain boxes that I have to check. Like to feel like this is, you know what I'm saying, where they need to be. You know what I mean? And that doesn't change. There's certain things that I change. Like you kind of right about how, you try things out because we don't know who's judging the debate. You feel me? So it's like, all right, I'm gonna try this out. Who knows if it's gonna benefit? But it is what it is. That's part of the risk that you take. But I think if you evaluate it from the perspective of like arguments exist similar to, you know what I'm saying, like they own game pieces and how those pieces interact. Yeah, I mean that to me, like that's where clash comes from. That's where the debate happens, on the interaction of the argumentation. But this is what we do is public debates, and so a lot of what comes across the technical part is not, people just not looking at it the same way.
And I'm kind of glad you said that. And I don't know if I've ever clarified this. I actually understand how you present, how you debate. I've actually put a lot into learning the art of judging debates outside of YouTube. But what you have to understand is there's a difference here. It's still what you do, but there are other things that we have to factor in order to judge them fairly. It's a format. It's set up the way it is. There are certain things that we ask you to do in each of the rounds, and we do everything we can to stick to those things. And then how you wow us, is what causes the scores to go higher and higher. But this is not, necessarily just real world debate. I don't know how else to say it. We have to put it into an internet format. Where we're talking about a chat looking at it and judges and difference of opinions and it's very fast paced. Not to say that real life debate isn't, but this is faster paced than that. It's a lot less rounds, a lot less time. And then you have to make a judgment on the fly. And we don't have a lot of time to prepare like you would as a judge in the real debate world. So it is a little bit different. And I've been trying to do everything I can to fit it into the sports setting. And sometimes it's a 8, sometimes it's a 9, sometimes it's a 10. One of the things that I have been trying to catch you on, I might as well get it out now, because it seemed like every time I came up, when you would make the statement, you would drop down. Maybe it was coincidental. You had some concerns about a rebuttal. You felt that I gave you a 10 in your rebuttal against Blue and an 8 in your rebuttal against Mumu, and you said that you felt you did the same exact thing. And I found that very interesting because how I saw the debate with Blue, if I'm being honest, and I don't usually use these terms, I felt that went over a lot of people's head, what you were able to do in that debate. It was excellent. And I felt that Blue tried to, and this is not personal, Blue, this is just me talking about debate. I felt that Blue tried to reframe your argument. And what you were able to do in that rebuttal is show the world, no, you are not going to reframe my argument. This is what it is. And you completely dominated from there on out to me. With Mumu on the after party, you even acknowledged that all you had to do was a pre-planned rebuttal because he didn't send you a premise. You weren't quite sure what his argument was, but you knew it would generally fit with what he was going to come up in there and say. That doesn't equal a 10. Like you can't, like just you knowing that you did, quote, all you had to do is not the same as what you did in that debate with Blue.
But
And
but then that's what I mean. I get that we have like what a 10 is here. Like I understand that, but the frustrating part about that though is you saying, well, that doesn't equal a 10. I'm not saying that in and of itself equals a 10. I'm saying the argument that was crafted to be able to respond to what was said was not generic simply because it was crafted before I heard it. So when you say, well, that's not a 10 simply because you do that, I'm for me, that's baffling because I'm saying, no, the argument itself was a 10. And the reason why I know the argument itself was a 10, because when I heard what he said, and if what I said interacted with what he said, it completely responded to the points that he was making. It left no gaps. It wasn't like it was like, oh, well, you kind of said, nah, what he said, I responded to specifically.
Right, but how it presented was you just reiterating your entire presentation, and anybody could reiterate their entire presentation and it makes for a good rebuttal, obviously, because they're the negative and you're the affirmative, or vice versa. That is not what happened in the debate with Blue. That is not what happened. It's not the same.
I disagree, and the reason why I disagree is because when you say that it's not the same thing. The argument that I'm making is that what he said, the argument that I developed to it was completely responsive, and the way in which they interacted literally subverted his position.
But do you understand that your rebuttal against Mumu was exactly what your presentation was?
Right,
you
but
literally
the reason, but
would you say, but okay, just a yes or no. Do you agree that your rebuttal with Mumu was a reiteration of your presentation?
I was extending my presentation.
Okay, and you feel that that's what you did in the argument with Blue?
It was because what I'm doing.
We have to review those rebuttal rounds if that's what you think.
Because the point that I was making is when he's making the, like with Mumu specifically, when he's making the argument, and I appreciate you doing this with me, Angel, for sure. When he's making the argument that, and again, this is his premise. He's making the argument in his premise that competition is driven by capitalism. I've already made the argument and proven that that's not true. I've already said it. So when I go into the rebuttal, when I say such and such evidence that I said in my premise proves the statement that he's making about competition is not true, me reiterating my position is because I'm literally saying I've already proved that what he's saying isn't true when I said this in my premise.
Right. I understand that. But that's not what happened in the debate with Blue. It was above and beyond. And we can go over it. Just repeating back your presentation as a rebuttal to something that someone says without any nuances, any other ways to look at it, any diving nuances. I didn't hear many nuances, and I can even find the clip where you said you kind of just did all, you didn't know what his argument was going to be, but it kind of just worked out that it was stuff that you already had in your presentation. That's what you said, and that's what it was. It wasn't just what you said in the after party. That's actually what it was. Your rebuttal with the debate with Blue was not that. And I don't have the notes in front of me, so I can't get into the nuances of what happened with Blue. Of course, a lot of it was pre-anticipated, which is what you typically do. But it wasn't all anticipated. And the biggest part, though, what it did was it reminded those that were paying attention that your argument was being completely driven left, and you brought everybody back to center that was paying attention. So I know that no matter what I say, we're not going to agree, but I'm still going to say it. And again, that's all I can do is be transparent on what I see. It's very fast paced. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to catch everything, but I'm not going to give extremely high scores when I feel like you could have done better. I just don't do that. That's just not the way I judge. That open is not a normal open from what I see with you. I felt like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't think any judge was giving you low scores when you put your presentations up with your points of contention and you were able to show the information while you drove it home. I thought that always worked for you in an open, just like it works for other debaters. Maybe that would have equaled a 9, but maybe it wouldn't, because again, I felt as if the way the argument was presented, it just was not a clear affirmative. It doesn't mean I don't understand what you were doing. It doesn't mean, it was a sports debate. It wasn't any, thing going over anyone's head. It just wasn't definitive for me. I don't really know how else to put it. I hope that makes sense. And, if no one else has any other questions, I'll just say I did update, excuse me, I'm very tired. I did update the website, and it looks like you are still in the lead by half of a point with the averages. That could change because Taz has another debate and so do you. So if you both are able to maintain your average, you would still be in the lead with the average score, but it could go either way. So, we'll see what happens with the upcoming debates. I'm sorry, Lucky. I see he dropped down. I didn't get to see if he had any questions. I apologize, but did anybody have any other questions? I'm about to go lay down. All right, I guess I'll take that as a no. Congratulations, Domo. I will see you all later. Have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, congratulations, man. But I kind of, I did how you winning and stuff like that. But I was already kind of biased. He didn't really kind of talk me off the ledge or nothing like that. But I understand what he was talking about when he was saying, the Knicks really don't need no cold quarterback. But I really ain't seen no motherfucker win the Super Bowl with a trash ass goofy quarterback though. You know what I'm saying? Or even get to that position. So
yeah, that was my argument.
It was kind of hard for me, but I did like his angle. As far as kind of trying to say that, that the quarterback position is just like the, like the cornerback or like the they all got a position, nothing really just standing out. But I did like how you drove in a point to where how everything else can work out. But if the quarterback is steadily goofy, they ain't going to no championship. So,
but see what it is, he just get too many of the fucking arguments, bro. It's too many arguments that he gets within his argument. You don't get to make Joe Flacco elite. Joe Flacco had elite run, no interceptions thrown in that playoff run, right? So I get calling that an elite run, but when you mention him in this debate as a quarterback, I'm thrown off on the title because I thought you only got elite quarterbacks for your argument.
Yeah, the title was kind of.
Would you say that with Joe Flacco, with him being a first rounder, is he elite?
Nah, being a first round pick don't make. Sam Darnold ain't elite. He was a first rounder.
But what about first rounder and win Super Bowl?
Sam Darnold. I wouldn't call him elite.
Okay. But damn, though, to be the number one pick and to win the Super Bowl, how you not know good quarterback though?
Jim Plunkett was the number one pick. He won 2 Super Bowls. He's not in the Hall of Fame. There's a reason for that.
Okay, you did say that. Yeah, you did say that. That was a cold point too. So that's a cold point too.
Yeah, being number one pick don't make you elite. I mean, shit. Dan Marino was picked in the 20s and shit. He was picked at the bottom of the draft. Tom Brady was picked in what round?
Yeah, 6.
7. 6 or 7. Yeah. Super late.
Russell Wilson was a 3rd rounder. Being number one pick don't guarantee you shit. RG3 was not pick number 2. Look at him.
But I would think that would like put you in a class, like if they already got them expectations for you, then you kind of already, you already kind of got some juice.
You got elite expectations if you get picked that high. I'll say that. Expectations is that you're going to be elite, but they don't automatically make you elite.
That's what I'm saying. If you got the expectation and you win Super Bowl, I mean, how that don't go together?
Because they can win a Super Bowl. Get back to the point. You can win a Super Bowl with a 6th rounder, with a 3rd rounder, with a 4th rounder. If you just want to win a Super Bowl, when motherfuckers draft a quarterback that high, they look for somebody who's going to be with a franchise for about 10 years. That's what they expect when they drafted.
So what y'all feel about his point whenever he said that the Tampa Bay had Jameis Winston, but then when they brought in Tom Brady, the next year they won the Super Bowl, and Jameis Winston had 5,000 yards and shit like that.
It was picked way higher than Tom Brady.
Yeah, I thought that was a good point. Highlighting that all the interceptions he threw was why he didn't win. Mm-hmm. No, I thought that was a fire point.
Yeah, that was a good point.
What about the point? Okay, well, I did see that you would disagree with the Cam Newton being the MVP but not winning the Super Bowl, though.
Well, no, would you still say that? No, I feel like what he's doing is he's getting both the arguments again. I feel like he's able to get both the arguments because you're presenting an elite quarterback on both sides. If we're being honest, both in that situation, both the elite quarterback is on both sides. You got the MVP versus the Hall of Famer, right? So you know what I'm saying? Like you can't. Whoever wins the Super Bowl, you're gonna walk off with him and say, "See, here's an elite quarterback winning." You know what I mean? So that's what makes the argument a little unfair to me because if we're being honest, then King Von Miller being a Super Bowl MVP undermines your quarterback argument because now that defense is more important than him on that field than your other elite quarterback. I don't know. I just don't think he muddied the waters enough with that.
Yeah, this topic was a wobbler, you know what I'm saying? That's why I was trying to see the angles and shit, but I thought the nigga Lucky had a good-ass angle, though, when he was diminishing the quarterback and saying, well, shit, he just like everybody else. If he fuck up, shit, niggas don't lose. If somebody else fuck up, niggas will lose, even if it is a good team.
That's the mistake, though. That's the mistake, is diminishing the quarterback, though. I think the argumentation he was making as in the beginning, just keeping it simple, calling it all one necessary piece of the team. No, I thought he had something with that. And if he wraps it up with the kicker, I don't know how he don't win. I think that's where he, left something on the table, is if he wraps that up with, that's why the kicker wins your game at times. That's why the punter, puts you in better field position. He kind of left out, putting together that entire team he was referring to.
Right.
I think he laid out a great argument, but if there's a way to close that out with, the role of the kicker, the role of the coach, the role of everyone else, and show how they equate to the role of the quarterback. I don't think he did that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact. He didn't connect that whole play, right?
Yeah. If anything,
because he was in there swinging. He was in there swinging, connecting. He was saying some shit. But I didn't think it was more. He didn't get off more points than Domo whenever, as far as that explaining shit. But It's like you say, if he was to go on that same shit, he would have stacked more points on within that argument.
Yeah, he did a good job. I think that angle threw Domo off a little bit. Certainly threw me off. I wasn't expecting that angle. It was a little bit different angle, but like I mean, you're a great debater. You can fight through that shit. So I definitely think Domo fought through it, but now he definitely came with a great sideways angle I wasn't expecting, and he was able to make good arguments for it. So yeah, that was a good debate. I don't think it was as much of a wash as Domo thinks. It was a little bit better than what Domo think.
It was close because I really had Lucky winning after the rebuttal. Because I thought we would sit on my little thing, you know what I'm saying? I had Domo winning the opening. I thought their premise was a tie, but I thought Lucky came back with his rebuttal. His rebuttal was fire. You know, he said a lot of shit up in there. But then shit, that nigga Domo kind of dominated that rapid fire to me. He was kind of getting, to me, he was making it make more sense. You know what I'm saying? He almost made Lucky kind of concede almost to a sin when he said that the third string wide receiver was the reason that, you know what I'm saying, people be winning the Super Bowl or something like that. So I thought that was kind of crazy, but he was in there banging. No, he really didn't concede, but that rapid fire was kind of tough because I don't know, that was kind of tough. That was a tough one to get out.
That rapid fire, that's definitely not an easy round anyway. But when you got somebody on your heels, like, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, the argumentation is always going to be good with Domo. I think sometimes he take a long route to get to where he's going, but the argumentation
nigga be eating at that clock.
Yeah, because I thought his opening was a little wordy myself. I thought he, you know what I'm saying, was doing a little too much in his opening. So that's why it didn't surprise me that he only got an 8 in his opening. Like usually he, you know, is actually lays out his rubric and tends to stick with that. I think he got into a little bit of his premise, or it sounded like he did anyway. If he wasn't trying to, it did sound like he did. So I don't know. I didn't think the 8 was strange in my opinion, because he did kind of do a little opening.
Yeah, me neither. I thought it was a good score.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Man, how can you trip, nigga, and you got an 84, nigga?
Bro, that's I don't know.
Because you did kind of flame. To me, you kind of flamed out on your rebuttal. You know what I'm saying? That was like your lowest round with me. Your rebuttal, you didn't really, you know, you kind of, you know, lost a little bit of steam a little bit.
That's reasonable. That's kind of.
What's up? What round you think was your best round?
You know, what I would say, what would I say is my best round? I'd probably say the rebuttal. I think you probably think I flamed out because, like, after my mic had went out, I had to kind of like re-pick up steam. So I was really just like, shit, let me just sum this shit up. I just 8 is crazy. And just 8 is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Not saying like she crazy or like her decision is crazy. It's just like it's wild. It's wild, bro. I mean, and you know, I don't want to disrespect niggas who like, cause like Lucky got 80 something, so I think that's dope.
You think it's about that's wild. I get 8s all the fucking time, bro.
You're not me, though. I'm not you.
Never understand it. Never understand that. I'm trying shit. I'm doing different shit. Every time I look up 8. I mean, welcome to the party. Like I say, just don't get too comfortable. You know what I mean?
Bro,
It's
that's
up.
some weak ass shit. That's some weak ass shit. If you I can't. I gotta get this topic with, and y'all, man, we gotta figure this shit out. Cause that's some weak ass shit. If you gotta do 6 debates to beat me in the motherfucking, and then GQ called it. GQ
I mean,
called
I
it.
don't. I mean, it's looking like I don't. You only up a half a point, and y'all may take care of that, bro. Like shit, we good. You would have to score what 87? Yeah, you ain't gonna score that. You through.
I've already scored it twice. Why wouldn't I be able to score it?
Dude, did you?
That was my.
Did you see what I scored? You see my
Yeah,
scores?
yeah, but I had done that too, though. I had done that. I could do that still. If you can do it, I can definitely do it. If you can do it, I can definitely do it.
Part of my
It's not a
plan is I
thing.
jumped in on this goddamn AI debate. You know what I'm saying? Get in here and do
I
my
hope she
best.
watched your old Flintstones ass, nigga. You debating the AI. Your old ass don't know shit about no AI.
Man, I'm trying to tell you.
She gonna kick your ass.
It's gonna be a skills test. Skills test for me.
Also, fuck the chat. Let's just keep that clear. Let's keep that. Let's just keep that going. Fuck the chat. Shit. I'm gonna stay on that. And if niggas thought I have a reason not to, it's like no. Nah,
So why
fuck
you
the
don't
chat.
ever try to win over the crowd?
Because fuck the crowd. I see what the crowd is impressed by, and I'm ashamed of it.
That's
What they
crazy.
impressed by?
Bullshit.
Nah, you thought Lucky was on some bullshit? I thought Lucky did
Nah.
good.
I would never say I thought Lucky was on some bullshit, but the chat was on some bullshit though. The chat was on some bullshit. I think Lucky did well for sure. I don't think he won though. I don't think he won though. But it is what it is. All this did was make it interesting. That's all.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he won, but he again he presented a formidable debate though. He wasn't just in there. You know what I'm saying? He actually gave it
What
a
is it,
fight.
84, 82?
Yeah, 84, 82, 84.
So, well, would you
That's
think it should have been, what, 86 or 87, 82 or something? Like what you think you should have got total?
at least 87. At least 87.
7, 3 more
Yeah.
points.
I can see if somebody was like that wasn't a 90 or 90 up. I can see that, but at least 87.
I mean, what again? Like what research did you show? Like, what documentation did you show? You gave a bunch of fucking opinions. Like, you
No, I
weren't even
didn't.
really shit, bro.
No, I didn't. Bro, like
Very,
literally,
very
even my premise had my premise had every statistical line that I used for whether it was like literally that's why Lucky was saying at the end of the debate like how much I had put towards that shit. I sent
That's
him
him.
every statistic,
That's him.
bro. I
You even said Eli Manning, bro. Like, do you know that you should have lost that debate on Eli Manning alone?
bro.
The mere mention of that man's name.
Eli Manning is a franchise quarterback. I don't care what
That
you
don't,
say.
what
Eli,
that means? So what? So is Mark Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez was not a franchise quarterback. Franchise quarterbacks
No,
don't
he
fail.
did. No, he was not successful as a franchise. Tim Tebow was not
Exactly.
successful as a franchise, but he was. He was drafted.
Eli was a successful franchise quarterback.
No, he wasn't
He
benched.
brought the franchise to Super Bowls against Tom Brady.
He also brought 2 interception crowns to his name. He's the 2-time leader in interceptions in the NFL. Like, again, he's a borderline Hall of Famer at best. To say that he's elite, because again, this is where.
That's what I'm saying. That's why y'all are terrible listeners. I never said Eli Manning was elite.
I'm not a terrible listener. I'm terrible at understanding your debate topic. That's what's terrible.
I never said he was elite.
What's the title of this debate again? What's the title of this debate again?
Is a quarterback needed for a championship team?
Is a quarterback needed? Okay. I thought it was elite quarterback.
Exactly.
But that's kind of what y'all was debating, though, right? Like if a nigga got to be kind of good to win a Super Bowl.
The point that I
So
was
your
making,
framing, so if anything, your framing brought your scores down because once again, Domo overthinks simple shit and wants to go out and put on some amazing unnecessary performance, but you overthought it because you're dumb. You overthought it. You overshot the fucking goal on a simple fucking debate. That's what it is. I'm telling you now. And you want to sit there and get all technical with these motherfucking judges on some simple shit. Hell no. A quarterback, I thought it was elite. So you could use serviceable. You could use elite. You could use all the terms you wanted to fucking use.
I did.
No, but he argued against the usage of them as he kind of was able to frame it as if y'all was debating elite, and you somewhat let him.
Bro, I had a whole probably 3 minutes about how, because Lucky proposed this topic, and I was prepared to be like, bro, if you wanted to debate elite quarterbacks, you should have said that shit. And I had a whole bro, I had a whole lecture.
You put them in tiers though, Domo. That's what confused me. When you put the 3 quarterbacks in tiers, I thought y'all were debating those tiers. And if you need that top tier to win a Super Bowl, that's what that's what the debate was saying.
Distinctions. Yeah, that's why I was asking for distinctions on what they was actually arguing as far as because like I said, it's very vague, open-handed topic, title or whatever. Because on one hand, it could mean elite quarterback. It can mean serviceable quarterback. It could mean you need the quarterback position altogether. It's a lot of different ways you can look at that title. So it's like,
right. I think that's why Angel called it general, because you could have just came in and just simply argued. Now imagine taking a snap and there's nobody back there.
But I literally said I'm not going to do that though. I said that's not what I'm going to do. I could.
That's because you don't want the MVP. That's what I'm saying. With me, on the other hand, I would at least took 2 minutes out to make sure that that's understood. Considering, nah, you laughing, but look, let me lay it out for you though. Let me lay it out for you. One of the most hurtful moments in the history of me watching football. Brock Purdy gets hurt in the NFC Championship game. They bring in old ass Josh fucking Johnson. He gets hurt. We no longer have a quarterback to even take a snap. Dude has to stand back there with a dead arm, take snaps, and hand them to Christian McCaffrey because we don't have another quarterback on the roster, and only the quarterback can throw the ball.
Bro, here's the
thing. So there's more to this argument.
I had that premise prepared too. I chose to go with the Buccaneers and the Buccaneers and the Rams example. I chose to go with the Rams example at the last minute. I ain't gonna lie, I switched out at the last minute.
Why Trent Dilfer? Why did you choose Trent Dilfer? I was wondering about that.
Because the argument is, people try to say Trent Dilfer was a bad quarterback, but he couldn't have been a bad quarterback, right? Because bad isn't just bad, like low numbers. It's how does he impact the game?
He was bad, bro.
No, listen. Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying.
In the league, bro.
Listen to what I'm saying. You're saying that, right? But the nigga that he replaced was worse than him, and he made a difference. That's why there's a difference. Like bad, we can just say bad generally.
He just made less mistakes than the other motherfucker. That's all.
Exactly. But that's what a serviceable quarterback. But Psycho, that's my point. That's what makes a quarterback serviceable. Because a quarterback's mistakes are worse than anybody else's. A quarterback, right?
So you're saying that? So you was arguing that they need at least a game manager.
But to be honest, I think a game manager is a type of functional quarterback, but it's still not the bare minimum that I'm saying. Like Trent Dilfer knew I'm only going to complete 5 passes, but if one of those passes end up a touchdown, that helps our offense. That helps our defense. You know what I'm saying? So like that proves that even though his numbers was trash, his actual impact on the game, he did just enough for the offense to not be the reason why they lose. Bro, because remember, they played that
So
Titans defense.
he debated the wrong debate, bro, because you get too much of the argument. He played
I
just
know
enough. Like he
bro, but
played
you got to think
just
about it
good
though.
enough. It's
You got
ridiculous,
to think
bro.
about it though. That's the distinction. If I can get a 30, he had a 96-yard touchdown, a 35-yard touchdown, a 38-yard pass
There were some good examples you had. There were some
that stopped
good examples.
that stopped at the 2-yard line. You see what I'm saying? And these are heavily defensive games. The Raiders was the
Yeah.
number 9. The Raiders was the number 9 defense. Matter of fact, the Tennessee game, Tennessee was the number 1 offense that year. The Ravens was the number 1 score or the number 1 defense. The Ravens was the number 1 scoring defense. The number 1 overall offense defense was the Titans that year. And he was able to do enough to get a touchdown on them. So
It's a fact.
that's what I'm saying. Like when you look at his impact, he played the role of quarterback, not superhero. Not look if the number 1 defense is gonna give
But
me
you gotta have
an
a
open
running
pass
game.
to that,
I
and then
think
think about it. He was able to score all of these touchdowns mostly with Shannon Sharp, and Shannon Sharp old as shit. This is washed up Shannon Sharp, and
they had
he
a
got
running
3
game,
touchdowns.
though, bro.
Ah,
They believe
not
the
really,
running game.
not really,
Nah,
because
hold
again,
on. No, but they did
not
have that
really.
one nigga that was cold at running back though.
Yeah,
They had Jamal Lewis, but
Yeah, Jamal Lewis was cold that year.
but that's what I'm saying. That it's still even with Jamal Lewis, the running game wasn't. I don't even think he got the sole
Nigga,
rushing touchdown.
how old was you, nigga? How old was you?
I was older. I was 13, nigga.
Yeah,
In
bro. See,
2000, I
that's
was
what I'm
13.
saying, bro. You weren't watching like that, bro.
I was, bro. I fucking was. I remember this shit.
That nigga was
You
nice at running back. That nigga was a
that because
bug.
I think the way to challenge that, and it's, again, I think it's an uphill challenge because Rich Gannon didn't win that Super Bowl, but Rich Gannon is the MVP. The defense beats the MVP again. The defense beats the even if you say he's not elite, Rich Gannon was elite that year. He's the MVP. Again, the better defense wins.
But
So
Brad
while we
Johnson,
focus on,
but Brad Johnson had to be serviceable though, bro. He couldn't be trash.
I agree, he
He
couldn't
couldn't
be
be trash.
trash. But
Exactly.
see
That means that you need a quarterback.
he framed that debate wrong. Yeah, you're right.
trash.
No, you're right. You're right. Because I'm
Trick-
debating it. My bad. Go ahead, Saka.
No, I was just saying, Trent Dilfer was extremely trash in the Super Bowl run. Like it was bad. Like the motherfucker, the first game that year, well, not the first game, but the first playoff game, the motherfucker went 5 for 16, 117 yards, and they won. And
Hold
then
on. What was the touch? Who did he throw a touchdown to?
he ain't have no touchdowns that game.
No. My fault. What was the sole touchdown? The sole
My
touchdown.
bad. That was the second playoff game. No, the first playoff game he did score. He went 9 for 14, 130 yards with a touchdown.
And that was against the Broncos.
Right. That was against the Broncos. Now the second game was the one I just mentioned. He went 5 for 16 and
but that was against the Titans.
No touchdown.
That was against the Titans, right?
Right.
That's the number 1 defense. And he threw the pass to Shannon Sharp that got it to the 2-yard line, that got them a 2-yard rushing touchdown to get them on the board.
He only had 117 yards, but yeah, then he went 9 for 18, 190 yards, touchdown and an INT.
And with what? I think that's the 96 yarder. That's the 96 yarder against the
96 yards Shannon Sharp. Yeah.
Against with Shannon Sharp, bro. He was doing it with Shannon Sharp, Shannon Sharp.
And then the Super Bowl, he went 12 for 25, 153 yards. He ain't throw for 200 yards one time.
But did he not? He threw a touchdown to the white boy.
But listen to this though. The Ravens gave up 3 points against the Broncos. They gave up 10 points against the Titans. They gave up 3 points against the Raiders, and they gave up a touchdown against the Giants.
That's my point, Psycho. But that they're only able to do that because think about it. it's like if you think about it from a mental perspective, if you at least able to get a touchdown with the way that your defense is playing, that gives the defense the ability to be like we can still do this. Like it mentally it hurts the offense, it hurts the other side. Like him making those plays to get on the board, literally like whether it was just like the little boost of momentum, it still played a role that he had to play, and he did it. He did it just like Nick Foles. Nick Foles, he did it.
I look at Trent Dilfer didn't lose it for him. That's all I can say. He didn't lose it for him.
But okay,
but a nigga got to put up some points though. A nigga got to get a nigga in a position to get them points though.
Oh shit, my phone about to die.
I can see if the defense scored the motherfucking points.
They was. The defense was scoring points.
Yeah, man, this is a wobbler, man.
I think defense scored damn near as much points as the offense in that playoff run. That was like a legendary playoff run. That defense.
That was legendary. I remember that because I'm not a Trent Dilfer fan. Never had. He trashed me, but I did. Like, damn, they won with a nigga that was weak. But the nigga did make some plays though.
Because even with that argument though, like, does it take away, at least with the judges or in discussion, that team, the heart and soul of that team is Ray Lewis. It's not Trent Dilfer. It's not the quarterback.
Yeah,
quarterback don't fucking matter.
Yeah, he wasn't the franchise. That's like, does the quarterback have to be the franchise? The face of the franchise?
Do you think they could have won with their second string instead of him though?
Yes.
The Super Bowl?
Yes. I'm saying Trent Dilfer did nothing to contribute to that championship. Nothing.
I don't know, man. Running that offense, man, being that quarterback, kind of, managing the game, being out there, and if you're just making a couple of plays, but if it's the right plays, that's what I'm saying. For a motherfucker to keep going in the playoffs, especially nowadays, a nigga gotta have a nice quarterback. Especially.
Don't. Sam Donald's a bum. I don't care. Nobody said about the goddamn bum.
So Sam Donald was nice last year in Minnesota, though.
Man, motherfucker. Yeah, Geno Smith looked nice in Seattle too, didn't he? What happened after he left? A whole bunch of people look nice on him when they were playing on a good ass team.
Yeah,
but Seattle really wasn't no. I mean, who was expecting Seattle to do something?
I mean, Seattle got a good team. They had a good team. Sam Donald, ain't like Sam Donald came to some bums, but they played good with Geno.
Yeah, they in our division, bro. It was all right with Geno. Yeah.
Man, I seen that bum over here. The motherfucker got drafted by the fucking Jets. They chased his ass up out of here and went over to Seattle, and he found him a system. And he's a system guy. He found him a system he could fit in. But that's all he is, a system guy. He's not a lead. I wouldn't. He's average at best.
I mean, shit, I thought that motherfucking Minnesota should have kept his ass last year. They would have been better. They probably would have won that bitch.
Minnesota got other than that. Nah,
shit, cause they was kind of nice last year with him. Oh, yeah.
System guy.
They rolled the dice on JJ and cracked that.
Yeah.
I get salary wise and whatnot, you get a chance to basically reset a new franchise quarterback, but he just wasn't it, in my opinion. They fucked up with that.
But kind of like what you were saying, Chad, if the Ravens, it's like with the 49ers, if all the quarterbacks got knocked out the game, would they still win the damn Super Bowl, though?
Listen, bro, Trent Dilfer didn't throw for 200 yards one time in that playoff run. And they whooped ass. They were beating the fuck out of people with Trent Dilfer throwing under 200 yards every game.
Yeah, that was crazy when you said he only completed 5 passes in the game. I'm like, damn, that's nasty.
5 for 16, 117 yards.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. That Ray Lewis legend shit ain't fake. Like they was really that. Like they was really fucking that. And you know what I'm saying? I just don't know. I don't think quarterback wise he gets any credit for that team. Because again, it's just if we saying a quarterback got to be a center, yeah, he get that credit. But as far as them winning games, hell no. I remember.
But what about them passes to
Lucky brought up a good point.
Sharp though.
Lucky brought up a good point. He should have stressed it a little bit more about the Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, Patriots game and everything else. Like it was like they had the game, but they was trying to look cute with Russell Wilson, trying to give him the MVP instead of just giving the fucking ball to Marshawn Lynch like any other self-respecting head coach would fucking do in that moment.
Yeah, that's to me that's a great point. Just going back at the no need for a quarterback thing. I'm saying like you don't need a quarterback in that moment, and the quarterback loses you the game. Now this is the quarterback you said is your franchise quarterback. This is somebody you use as one of your elite quarterbacks. They definitely should have touched on that a little more. Definitely.
Yeah, he played good on that system. I ain't say he ain't have a good year, but shit, I can name you a year Mark Rippon lit shit the fuck up. Looked like he about to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. Motherfuckers led the league in yards and everything else, touchdowns. Afterwards, people forgot about him. You know, people have good years. To be elite though, or be like, that's why I said what they talking about elite, because I know to be elite, you need more than just 1-2 years. You got a track record.
Yeah. You need a long record to be elite.
Okay, so would you say that a playoff runs is elite runs for quarterbacks?
That established elite. Establish yourself as an elite quarterback if you have a good playoff run. Yeah. You need more than just one though, because anybody can have one good playoff run.
Yeah, because Flacco went 12 touchdowns, no picks in that playoff run.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he had an impressive run, but I mean, Flacco shouldn't be confused as one of the better quarterbacks of his era either.
No. Serviceable. I'll say he's serviceable. That's about as best I give Flacco.
Yeah, that's even pushing it.
Yeah, he had some bad years. He's an interception machine. He was an interception machine too at one point. So yeah, he had some bad years.
That motherfucker.
Okay, so with the angle that Lucky brought up with Tom Brady, with Tom Brady, being a backup, Drew Bledsoe was really the nigga. Drew Bledsoe get hurt. The backup come in within the system, but it's hard to say it's the system if the nigga win that many but that many Super Bowls.
Yeah, I don't think Tom Brady is as good as everybody want him to be because of his rings. I don't think he's trash. He had some great seasons, right? Like 2007 statistically was his best year, if I ain't mistaken. When he had Randy.
50 and 8. Yeah, that's 50 and 8.
He's the best football player ever to me, man.
Before that, like his first 3 Super Bowls, they won them Super Bowls independent of him. Like they won those. I get those first 3 Super Bowls they won. Bill Belichick, Adam Vinatieri. Vinatieri and Bill Belichick get the most credit for those Super Bowls. The first 3.
I can't do that because every time Tom Brady had the ball with like a minute or some seconds left and got him in field goal position.
That's cool and all that, but you understand football. You understand if you ain't got a kicker that's going to make that 40-something yard kick under pressure, no, that drive don't mean what you call it. Jim Kelly. Most people don't respect Jim Kelly because he ain't win no Super Bowl. Jim Kelly got his team in position to win the Super Bowl. The first Super Bowl he lost, he got them in position to win. And the kicker missed.
2019.
And the kicker missed. Gary Anderson missed.
Scott Norwood, wasn't
it? Scott Norwood, excuse me. Yes, Scott Norwood. Yeah, I'm high.
Yeah, Scott Norwood.
Yep. And missed the kick. And so it don't matter if you get your team in position if you don't have the kicker. And Adam Vinatieri is the most clutch playoff kicker of all time.
Definitely.
Oh no, man! The way that he be reading them defenses, man, and getting that ball out, man. Like, man, he really get that ball out, man. You know, man, I never really was a Tom Brady fan. I always rooted against Tom Brady.
I give Tom Brady more credit for the Super Bowls after the first three. After the first three, I don't give him a whole lot of credit for. The ones after that, I give him a little bit more credit for.
Who they have on offense, really? His first three. He didn't have no grunt. He didn't have no niggas that was crazy. Man, he was making them niggas look good at receiver. Like,
to be honest with you, Tom Brady really ain't start putting up numbers until Randy Moss got on the team. That's when he started putting up numbers. He wasn't known as no quarterback that's going to light up the scoreboard until Randy Moss got there.
He made Branch. He made
Deion Branch won that MVP, not him.
He made him. No. He made Deion Branch.
How would Deion Branch won MVP? There's no way.
Saying he making because he putting the ball in their hands.
No, bro.
Wes Welker. He made Wes Welker.
But for you not to win the MVP, you did something outside of that was not good. If a receiver win the MVP and not the quarterback, the quarterback played bad.
Yes, that's fact.
Oh no, man. It's like I don't know. He like Jordan to me, man. I never was a Jordan fan coming up. But it's like, damn, he be getting this shit done. He be getting this shit done.
I think he gets too much credit. I ain't saying he don't deserve no credit, but I think he gets too much credit.
And he be getting them in the position to win the game every time. Look at that shit with Atlanta Falcons.
I would take over Tom Brady, truth be told.
Look at that shit with the Atlanta Falcons. That was some of the craziest shit ever.
He's not John Elway.
Man, that Atlanta man, when he did it to the Atlanta Falcons, I thought that Seattle was gonna get him
choked. And that's another thing. His later Super Bowls was more about what the other team didn't do, like the Atlanta Falcons. Man, Falcons, that was a gag job. They choked that shit the fuck away.
So would you really say that?
Now, credit to him for taking advantage of it, but let's not get it fucked up. That was more about what Atlanta didn't do than what Tom Brady did. And same thing with the Seattle motherfucking game. That was more about Marshawn Lynch not getting the ball, not what Tom Brady did.
So would you say he was striking them down?
No, don't forget the Carolina game where the kickoff was short.
Yeah, yep. That's fact.
Remember, they got a short field to start that last drive with. Mm-hmm. He came down, put him in field goal range. Yeah, tie the game up.
The real MVP stepped in and won the game for him. Adam Vinatieri.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, I remember these shits, bro. Tom Brady have a bunch of blowouts on his resume in the Super Bowl. Like, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't, he's Tom Brady, though. He did his thing.
But y'all kind of saying that he should have another Super Bowl because motherfucking Manning got lucky.
Got lucky?
Yeah, with the lucky passes.
What year you talking about? 09? What was that, 09 you talking about? In the playoffs?
Yeah, when he lost with Moss. Nigga had to catch on the helmet.
You talking about Eli Manning. I don't know why.
Yeah, Eli Manning. Yeah, Eli Manning.
Yeah.
He should have 8 damn Super Bowls.
Well, they gagged that shit away. Bum ass motherfuckers. Let them Giants beat them, man. Them motherfuckers suck.
He should. That was crazy. I mean,
again, him and Randy Moss was like crazy, man. That was like a crazy year, man.
The motherfuckers was beating everybody by like 30 that year, man. That shit was crazy. Like they ran that shit the fuck up. And they was doing it purposely too. That was the year they got caught with Spygate. And they said they was mad at everybody. They started trying to run the score up on everybody.
50 touchdowns and 8 picks is crazy though.
He ran it up, man. They ran it the fuck up. Like that's why I said 2000. That's his best year statistically. That's his best year.
And I hated Tom Brady, nigga. I picked Mike Vick every time. I was like, nigga, Mike Vick, my nigga. But I'm like, man, fuck, man. If I'm gonna pick a quarterback, I gotta go with Tom Brady, man. I love my nigga Vick.
Yeah, Vic had to learn how to be a quarterback. He learned toward the
Virginia
end of his
Tech,
career.
man.
He learned toward the end of
He
his
took
career.
Virginia Tech to the national championship game as a young nigga.
Yeah, but
number one draft pick.
He still.
I mean, come on, man. He changed the game, man.
He played quarterback, but he didn't learn how to play quarterback until he got older.
Man, I just think that he didn't have the right he didn't have the right coaches. He didn't have the right coaches that run the best. You know, the motherfuckers be trying to have a nigga conform to their playbook and shit. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be able to throw the ball. It can't just be. You can't. I mean, especially back then, you know, you can't just run all the time. Like, actually, he's more built for today's NFL than he was back then. But still, even today's NFL motherfuckers who like to run a lot, like, you still gotta be able to throw the ball. You gotta be able. He was inaccurate. He was all over the place. He had a strong arm, but it wasn't accurate.
Yeah, he wasn't accurate. He wasn't accurate. So who you think more accurate, him or motherfucking my nigga Jackson?
Lamar is more accurate than Vic was at this stage of his career. But Lamar got to get more decent, more accuracy too right now, because that ball be selling on him too. It's like late in the season. I don't know if it's the weather or whatever, but the ball starts selling on him.
Yeah, I've been trying to find me a team. I ain't got no football team. You know, most people out here Dallas Cowboy fans.
Yeah, you're in cow bitch country out there, man.
I hate the fucking Cowboys, man. And everything, man. I'm not a Cowboy fan. But shit, to tell you the truth, man, you know, since some niggas ain't won in a long time, you know, I really always an underdog nigga. I really been pulling for them. Like, them niggas ain't won in a long time.
Be happy. Yeah, I know. Be happy, motherfucker. That's good. They the laughing stock of the division now. They the last team. They ain't been to the motherfucking NFC Championship game since '96.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
Everybody else in the division been there this century except for them motherfuckers. So everybody in the division be clowning these motherfuckers. Let them motherfuckers stay their asses in the 90s.
Niggas be sad around this motherfucker. Niggas be thinking these niggas finna do something in the playoffs, nigga, every year. These niggas got the number one offense. These niggas
like delusional fans in sports. Every year is they fucking year. Every year I gotta hear a song and dance about how this the fucking year. This the year. We back. How about them cow bitches? Be back every fucking year. I laugh my ass off every fucking year at these motherfuckers.
And that shit be funny as hell, man. It's all good, man.
They fans is why I can't stand the fucking cow bitch. I became a cow bitch hater because of the fans. Cocky, weird ass motherfucker.
Yeah, man, I think I'm gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? You know, I was gonna fuck with my nigga Kyler Murray, but he done fell off the map and shit, so I'm like, man, let me fuck with Jalen Hurts. You know, he a boomer sooner. You know what I'm saying? He came down here and did his thing. But, you know, people be kind of, you know, acting like, you know, Jalen Hurts ain't really like that. You know, I'm like, damn, man. Yeah, he be holding it down.
It's that tush push shit, bro. People hate that shit, bro.
Man, that's a good thing, right? You get down there, just outpower the motherfuckers and shit. I mean, that's a good part.
I think on the field, yeah, of course. But I think in terms of watching football, people don't want to see that shit.
I want to see, you know, they kind of been shutting it down a little bit. You know, that's like shit. Can somebody stop it? That's almost like some Wemby shit. Like, damn, who gonna stop this nigga? Who gonna stop that?
You said you're an Oklahoma fan?
Yeah, Boomer Sooner. Yeah.
So you know Gerald McCoy then?
I mean, I don't know him, but yeah, that nigga from the nigga from the south side. That nigga went to Southeast. That nigga, yeah, that nigga, the coldest football player that ever come up out the city.
Okay.
Yeah, he number one to me.
Yeah, that's my nigga.
Oh yeah, he do be doing the battle rap shit. Okay, yeah, that's okay. I forgot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jerry McCoy cold. He come up out of Southeast, and shit. I didn't even know that nigga was even like that until I heard him about like his senior year. Like, damn, this nigga nationally ranked.
That
And
motherfucker.
Southeast is like a
That
nigga.
motherfucker.
Southeast ain't no a football school like that. That's like a magnet school. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it's
He had got me a sweatshirt at the Pro Bowl and shit. All the Redskin motherfuckers signed and shit, and he shipped that shit out to me.
that's fire.
And,
That's fire. I'm pretty sure he a real one. Shit, he seem like he a real. I
yeah,
don't
he
know
is.
none of his
He
people
pulls
or
up.
nothing like that, but shit, he be down here doing the football camps. He be down here showing love, and
Mm-hmm.
he be giving back big time. For real though, he be helping out. Oh yeah, shout out to Gerald McCoy for real. Yeah, I'm Boomer Sooner, nigga. Oklahoma State Tulsa.
I
Yeah.
used to root for y'all motherfuckers every motherfucking year when y'all played UT. I hated fucking UT. I still hate UT. I
You
can't
talk about in
stand
the
them
back.
short horn. I can't stand them short horn ass motherfuckers, dog. I lived down there, and I ain't really give a fuck about Texas and started. I ain't care enough about them motherfuckers to start hating them until I moved down there. Them
Right, right,
motherfuckers
right.
arrogant, weird
Yeah.
ass motherfucker. I was like, I don't even like y'all motherfuckers. Fuck out of here. I hope y'all lose. Every time y'all played that goddamn Red River rivalry shit, I'll be like, yeah, Boomer Sooner. I ain't even an Oklahoma fan.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
root for them just against them motherfuckers, just because I know they hate them and shit. So I just
Man,
piss them off.
that shit is a legendary game, man. That shit be hype, boy. Texas, Oklahoma. That's why I really can't go with Dallas Cowboys like that, because niggas got that Oklahoma and Texas. Niggas got like a rival. It's love for Texas, but when it comes to sports, nigga, that's like shit. Yeah, that's a number one rival for real. But most of our
Yeah,
people be coming from Texas, though. I ain't gonna front. And that's why niggas be kind of like, man, they need to
it's
start
funny
picking
because
more niggas from Oklahoma. But
like you said, everybody around your area all cow bitch fans though.
on everything, these niggas be cowboyed out, man.
It's just
You
hate
can get it.
UT but love the
You
cow
can get
bitch.
a bet
Shit
every
crazy.
Sunday. you can get a bet every Sunday with these niggas. That's a fact.
Well, y'all closer to Dallas than motherfucking UT and shit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Dallas right next door to motherfucker Oklahoma.
Yeah, Texas, big pod. Yeah, Texas. No, but Texas is a football country, though. Texas is football land.
Oh,
I
football's
think
king in
them in
Texas.
Florida,
Football's
it's
king in
like,
Texas. Yeah.
yeah, that shit is
I,
year round down
it,
there.
yeah, it's bigger in Texas than Florida. Reason being is high school and college is big in Florida. In Texas, high school, college, and the NFL is big in
Right.
motherfucking Texas.
Right.
Like you got Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays on lock in Texas. On lock. Like in Florida, they don't give a fuck about the NFL. They
Right.
don't. They can give a fuck about the NFL. Like they only care about Miami when they good and they relevant. That's the only time they give a fuck about the Dolphins. Jacksonville, them motherfuckers got to cover up seats and everything. Cover up the seats, make it seem like they sold some tickets and shit like that. Is fucking pathetic. Tampa Bay, they probably the best supported team in Florida, but they shit ain't as good as most NFL franchises. So like, yeah, NFL don't really thrive in Florida like that. Oddly enough.
They
College
be,
does.
they be having a lot of athletes coming up out of there.
Yeah, college and high school is bigger than the
Mm.
NFL out there. As a college high school state, but like I said, NFL not so much. Texas though, Texas the cow bitches is relevant. Them motherfuckers, them Texans get supported. They support the Texans out there. So they get so much NFL support out there. They think about putting the team in San Antonio.
Yeah, I thought they was. I don't know why they ain't going. Shit, I don't know why they wouldn't. Shit, 'cause that should be sold out too. I'm surprised there ain't been no cold Mexican come up out of motherfucking Texas yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming though. What's up, man? Would y'all be playing football up there like that in New York?
Yeah, we play football, but it's basketball country out here though. We basketball it rules the roots out here. We more of a
Man, what's
basketball
up with
state.
y'all guard play, man? Y'all ain't been putting out as many. Well, I guess Donovan Mitchell, but y'all used to be shit loaded at guard play.
Yeah, we like football is more of a like football southern teams and out like it like them rural areas out like like in mountain areas and shit like that Midwest and shit like that's more football focused areas and shit when it comes to like Pop Warner high school college and shit like that. Like out here, we have like individuals that do good and they'll go to those schools, but they don't stay out here. We ain't got no football programs out here for
Right. So I got
motherfuckers.
I
So
say the closest one y'all got out there would I guess it would be fucking Penn
Rutgers
State.
be doing good every so often. Every so often, Rutgers will have an okay team, but again, we don't hyper focus on football programs out here. We hyper focus on basketball programs. That's where our focus go to. So we basketball states mainly.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
shit,
defunct no Miami Hurricane country. Miami Hurricane country. We don't fuck with the Dolphins. Yeah, see, NFL don't really rock like that. You don't really get no burn.
that's what I'm saying. Texas is football. It's football nation.
Yeah, they fuck with football, everything. Pop Warner, high school, college, NFL. Like they don't get like football is literally king in Texas. They don't really talk about no other sports. I was right there when Kevin Durant was in motherfucking playing for UT. And they ain't really give a fuck about the motherfuckers. Kevin Durant right there. They hardly talked about the motherfucker. They still talking about
That's
Vince
a
Young.
fact.
They still
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
a
Vince Young
fact.
and shit.
Yeah, that's a fact. I almost forgot Kevin Durant with the motherfucking Texas. Damn, that's shit crazy.
They don't give a fuck about basketball like that out there.
So he was down there putting up crazy numbers.
Yeah, they don't care. They just don't care. Vince Young is a god out there. Kevin Durant name will never be bigger than Vince Young name
Never.
in Austin.
Never.
That's crazy. That's crazy to hear right now in 2026, but it's facts. It's actually facts.
That
It
is
sounds
a
crazy to
fact.
motherfuckers outside of Texas, and I agree. It sounds crazy, but that's just what it is, man. Like Kevin Durant ain't did shit in Texas that for them to give a fuck about outside of go to Texas. Like Vince Young brought them motherfuckers a natty, son.
Natty.
He's goated in motherfucking Texas. Goated, nigga. Kevin Durant, he ain't even make it to the Final Four. They don't give a fuck about no goddamn Kevin Durant.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Damn, yeah, that's. Texas got a lot of good basketball players come up out of there too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like they got some nice hoopers that then came up out of Texas. That was real. I don't know about anybody that was a crazy all-star though. Just fucking legendary though.
From UT?
Nah, just from Texas.
All what players or just like?
Nah, just a player from Texas, like that was like a fucking like an MVP Hall of Famer, like from Texas.
Oh shit, motherfucker Eric Dickinson.
No, I'm talking about basketball.
Oh, basketball. Okay, basketball.
Yeah, them niggas got hella motherfuckers football. I'm talking about basketball though.
Basketball. Shit. He don't count. Like Shaq went to high school in Texas, but he from out here. He from North.
Yeah, he ain't really. Yeah, he kind of.
So
that's
that
like,
don't really count.
That's like some military shit. Yeah, that's like nigga flying through. Nigga come through on the Air Force base and shit.
That's a good question. Like outside of Kevin Durant, I struggle.
But he ain't even from Texas though.
I don't think he's from Texas. He played in Texas. Where's
Kevin
Durant from DMV? Kevin Durant from DMV. From
he's from DMV.
He's from
That's what I'm trying to think. Like, damn, who's nigga from Texas that is cold? I don't know. Nigga might have to dive on that one. What they saying in the chat? Anybody know any? Yeah, man.
He said there's plenty. I came Elijah Wan. Yeah, but Elijah Wan from Africa. But yeah, he played for Houston. Yes, that's true. He played for Houston though. But he wasn't born and raised out there. But he did play for Houston. That's another one.
Yeah, we played against that nigga Chris Bosh in high school. My 2 years. That nigga played damn, where was that school?
Clyde Drexler played for Houston too. Now where's Clyde from? I don't know where Clyde's from. Is Clyde from Texas? Let me see.
The only nigga I know from Texas that was motherfucking cold, man. My nigga motherfucking Dennis Rodman, man.
Oh, he's
my
from
nigga Dennis Rodman, nigga. Dallas, nigga. This nigga crazy.
Oh, nah, he from New Orleans. Clyde from New Orleans.
They from New Orleans? Okay.
Yeah, so they can't claim Clyde. Not unless you count in college. They can't claim being born and bred.
Dennis Rodman, you know what's crazy? Dennis Rodman might be the coldest nigga up out of Texas and really didn't play high school basketball.
Who?
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Kenyon Martin from Dallas. Yeah, Kenyon Martin.
Yeah, Kenyon Martin.
Elvin Hayes.
That nigga Dennis Rodman motherfucking led the league in rebounds.
Bosh from Texas.
Yeah, Rashad Lewis. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Rashad Lewis. Rashad Lewis was cold, but I don't think he's going down as a Hall of Famer though.
Yeah, Chris Bosh from Texas too. Yeah. Okay. He said Rashad Lewis, Houston. Okay, he running them down. He said Elvin Hayes.
Nigga Darren Williams from motherfucking Dallas, but I don't think he ain't no Hall of Famer now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had motherfucking Trey Young and shit. A nigga like me didn't never get to see him play, you know what I'm saying? Because I used to hoop and shit, you know what I'm saying? My high school basketball team, we made it like 11th in the nation my senior year. The nigga that I went to school with was the nigga Sheldon Williams. The nigga that got he went to Duke and got drafted by Atlanta Falcons. We hooped all through middle school, high school. And my nigga D'Angelo, he played at OU and played at North Carolina and played at North Carolina Charlotte also. But my nigga Sheldon was supposed to get motherfucking go to the McDonald's All-American game that year because the nigga got drafted and went to Duke, but we had went up. Well, I didn't get to go because I had fucked up my ankle right before. But they had went up to a tournament up there in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, niggas had the little girl come through the little room. And, you know what I'm saying? She done got tossed up and the homegirl found out she done got tossed up and she ain't making a little scene. And they made them niggas got in some trouble up there over that shit. Yeah, that shit was crazy. My niggas told me like, yeah, we in there, they in there doing that thing or whatever. And I guess the homegirl come look for her. And when she found out that, you know, what was going on with her, she was embarrassed and shit. And, you know what I'm saying, made it seem like it wasn't what it was. Niggas got kicked off the team. Niggas down there lost a nigga scholarship to Duke and everything.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
That's wild. Young dumb shit it sound like.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But yeah, that nigga Trey Young was down here doing shit like pulling that motherfucker from half court down there.
Yeah, Trey Young. Yeah,
he putting that motherfucker
Steph Curry 2.0.
Man, he was doing that shit in high school. But you know, he from Texas.
Yeah, I thought that motherfucker.
So, you know, his daddy played at Texas Tech.
I'm still confused what race he is, dog. He looked like a goddamn sad nigga, but he ain't a sad nigga. I'm a bit confused with him, dog. That is
his mama white and his daddy black. His daddy played at Texas Tech.
Okay.
His daddy was a point guard, something in Texas Tech. He ended up coming up here. I don't know if his daddy was.
When did A-Rap start playing ball and shit? What the fuck is this?
Nah, Yeah, that nigga hair is crazy as hell.
Yeah, he about the most ambiguous motherfucker in the NBA and shit. Like nobody would know what the fuck he was. Like, what are you again?
But he
I
got
don't know.
that
I think you
style.
Portuguese.
But he got that style from another nigga down here that was cold. But he ended up tricking his shit off at Oklahoma State. Nigga getting caught over weed on the highway, all type of crazy ass shit. But he was the first nigga down here pulling up from half court, 50 motherfucking 40s, going crazy, motherfucker pulling that motherfucker deep. I'm talking about as soon as the nigga tip it off, nigga motherfucking pull that bitch from half court. I'm talking about
Yeah,
soon off the
like I
tip
said,
off.
you could tell he loved Steph growing up. You could tell he modeled his game about Steph because like when I first started seeing him,
Man, he got it from a
that motherfucker just
nigga out
pulling
here
up from
called
everywhere.
Stevie Clark. He got it from a nigga out here called Stevie Clark that went to Douglas. He was busting that motherfucker from half court. And then you started hearing about Trey Young. I like this nigga from Norman. This nigga from Norman North. Like, damn, a nigga, Norman North is like, Norman is like South Oakland, you know what I'm saying? At the city. It's still kind of metro, but it's like South. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a whole bunch of white people and shit that was like, it's a motherfucker at Norman North going out, nigga, putting up numbers like that. But he got the style from a nigga from the east side, a nigga that went to Douglas, nigga named Stevie Clark. That nigga was supposed to be a nigga that was supposed to go. But shit, like I say, he had fucked up his shit in college and shit. But yeah, well, I guess you could say that it was the Steph Curry effect because everybody started doing that shit.
Everybody,
you know what I'm saying?
The shooting from the logo became the new thing. It wasn't
Yeah,
dunking
that's a
anymore.
fact.
Motherfuckers give a fuck about dunking. I want to shoot for the logo, nigga. So
Okay, so let me ask you this about basketball.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a good thing that niggas is shooting more than being more athletic?
I don't think they more athletic.
No.
Shooting more from the outside. They definitely shooting more from the outside, but I don't think they more
Is
athletic.
it good for basketball for it to just be more shooters than people that's not athletic? Because I felt like years ago people was more athletic. You know what I'm saying? But most of them niggas couldn't shoot though.
It's not having a jump shot I don't want to make it seem like not being able to shoot from the outside isn't a good thing or an advantage. The hyper focus of it is the problem. You know, trying to make the entire game about that is the problem. Like, you know, like back in the day, motherfuckers, they shot from the outside. You know, they was able to shoot. You know, motherfuckers wasn't shooting 3-pointers to this degree, which I think is hurting the game because, again, motherfuckers got in where they fit in. You know, but there still was a lot of athleticism going on in the game. You know, like that's why it burns me up when I hear motherfuckers say today people is more athletic. Like, how would you know? All they do is shoot threes all fucking day long. You ain't gotta be athletic to do that shit. You know, like white boys been doing that shit forever. You ain't gotta be athletic to do that shit. And that's another thing. I think they did this and the game has shifted away from athleticism because they want the white boys to become relevant in the NBA. So now they all calling the games the kind of suit what the white boys
no, I
do
think
best.
just the white boys is getting better.
Nah, them motherfuckers, no, the game has shifted so they can be more relevant. Because when I was coming up, the white boys could only do one thing, which was shoot. That was it. You know, stay your ass over here by the 3-point line. You stay there and wait for somebody to throw you the fucking ball. You know what I mean? Like, if we get in some trouble down low, if motherfuckers doubling and tripling us, we gonna kick it out to you. And when we do, you make it. Now that's your job. Stay your ass out there. Like that's the white boy's job. Now the game is centered around getting the ball to the white. Like he's not the third option no more. You know what I mean? That was like your third option. Your first option was try to drive on the motherfucker. Your second option was to try to get around, work a shot. If not, then maybe you could hit somebody down low or pass or something. They get a layup, whatever the case may be. And your third option was, okay, they crowding down low. Somebody's open on the outside. Find the white boy. You know what I mean? Like they was like the third, fourth option. Now they the first option. You know, like get the ball to the white boy.
But I'm saying though, like
get down low and wait for a rebound.
How we ain't got a nigga from over here? Well, I guess Anthony Edwards may be our nigga right now, but is he better than Luka? And do he got more potential than the young white dude that they got down in Dallas?
I mean, they different kind of players. Even though Anthony Ant-Man, he kind of be falling into that trap too. That whole gotta take the threes, gotta take the threes, gotta take the threes, and he's falling into the same trap. And like I said, this trap right here, this makes the white boys relevant. Luka's more relevant now, the way the game is played today, than he would have been in the 90s. In the 90s, he wouldn't have been able to do a lot of this shit that he's doing right now.
I don't know how the hell he's getting his shit off. I don't understand. If we supposed to have the athlete, I don't know how his first step is. I don't know how he getting his first step off like that, man.
But he's good at spacing. He knows how to space pretty good. So he's able to get his shot off and everything else is that third. But he would have got his ass tore up in the 90s, because in the 90s you had to play both sides of the court. He don't play
so niggas defense. Really ain't even being up now. So I'm like, is the niggas that's really playing defense some niggas from Jamaica? The Twins is the number one defensive players right now? The nigga from Detroit and the nigga from Houston?
Yeah. And they got them ranked the highest for the most part. I forgot how they ranked that shit. But
yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with our American basketball players. And it seems like we just like...
It's the way the game is played now. I'm telling you what it is. They made the game to where motherfuckers can put up a whole bunch of points, and the best way to do that is to shoot threes. And plus, they get to make white boys relevant. Now, white boys are relevant. More white crackers have been relevant. Ain't this many crackers been relevant in the NBA since the early 70s? And the last time the crackers been this relevant in the NBA as a collective. Like, you always had a couple of white boys here and there, but they were sprinkled in, right? Like, now these motherfuckers is like 3 of the top 5 players and shit. You know what I mean? Rookie of the years and shit they winning and shit. Like crackers wasn't winning rookie of the years back then when I was like, that just wasn't happening. Now crackers out here winning rookies of the years, MVPs left and right. Like, only cracker won MVP when I was coming up was Larry Bird. He was the only motherfucker, and we know why he won. He won that shit most times. I'll say he earned it like 2 of those years. One of those years.
Do you consider Joker as the number 1 player right now?
Statistically, if you're going off stats, yes. But yeah, I would say we base it off stats.
If you picking the team, is you picking him first?
Yes. I would pick him first today. If I was drafting
do you think that training the program thing got us where we at right now, and people not going outside and being creative, then got us to where, you know, like our basketball players looking almost like cookie cut? Because I seen, as far as in this USA and the international game with like the high school people and shit, I seen a young nigga from Canada guard kill all our guards. And I'm like, how the hell did a nigga from Canada? He looks like the American guard.
Basketball is big in Canada, especially like in Toronto and Vancouver. Basketball been big out there for decades.
But I'm saying he looks more like the American guard than the nigga in America. He looked like the Iverson. He looked like the Marbury.
Let me ask you all a question, right? So I heard you say that you don't think today's athletes are more athletic. And I think the way that I understand it is, I look at there's usually this guy in the NBA, and he's usually like the most, like the combination of like the most athletic, meaning like run fast, jump high, and strength somewhere in that combination, right? Like that guy, if you are like top tier in those areas, you usually dominate, and you can see that like a Giannis, he just so tall and athletic, he just dominates, right? Like a LeBron, he's just so tall and athletic, he just so I used the first I ain't gonna just say the first, but I use Dr. J as the first anomaly. He's the first guy who you can look at and say he seems to clearly be athletically superior to most, or I'm gonna just say most. He looks like he's running fast and jumping higher than most other people, right? And I would say in his time he stands out so much to where when I compare him to other people like a Derek Jones, right, who jumping super high, running fast, but he's like don't stand out. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't necessarily he fits in a, a group of other people who jump high, whereas Dr. J kind of like seems to fall out, like jump so high he damn near falls outside of like, you know what I'm saying, everybody else in the 70s. Like you got him, you got Dominique, you might got Skywalker, but these like those guys are like a mile and away from everybody else. Like, whereas now you got a whole bunch of people with 38 plus inch verticals. Like, it's just all over the place in the NBA.
I hear you. It was more than just Dr. J. Dr. J gets a lot of pub. He played in a big market. He played in New York first. That's where he kind of got his name and made his name in the ABA. And everything else. That's where the legend of Dr. J came around. And I'm a huge Dr. J fan, by the way. I'm Nets fan, full transparency. But there was other people that same era too. Dude by the name of David Thompson. You know about David Thompson?
Yeah, David Skywalker.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. He jumped out the ceiling. He was only 6'4". He was only 6'4". Competing with Dr. J in dunk contest at 6'4". You had Duncanstein that was out there doing crazy things for his era and everything else.
Right. See how you even got to give yourself a caveat, because you as crazy as he doing and he ain't doing Sean Kemp, right?
No, the reason why I'm saying well, he wasn't doing Sean Kemp because he wasn't as big as Sean, and Sean was like Sean was
no, they both about 16. They both like 16.
No. Duncanstein was only like 6'4".
Oh, I thought Duncanstein. I thought Duncanstein was Daryl Dawkins.
No, Daryl Dawkins is 6'10". Yeah, he's 6'10". See, if you talk about violent dunkers, I was just talking about more like athletic. Like Sean Kemp was athletic and violent. Daryl Dawkins was just violent. He just
right. I mean, I'm not saying David Skywalker wasn't super athletic, but I got a hard time believing he Derrick Rose. Right.
Oh, he was. He was.
I got a hard time believing he Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook. Like
he was. He really was that. Like the one thing I would say about today's dunkers, if we just talk to dunkers, they're more creative than the dunkers from back then. If the dunkers from back then had the creativity that the motherfuckers have today and practice the same dunks, they'll be able to do the same dunk. They just, back then they just was less creative. It was more about just getting the dunk, getting it in. Like, dunk contest was still brand new. The first dunk.
No. There's a point to be made there. Like they didn't have a flair on their dunks, and they were definitely like more in-game dunkers than they were like these flair 360 dunkers for sure. Correct. But I'm talking like in just like sheer verticals. I don't know. That's where I think it's kind of hard, but it's hard for me to believe that the 70s had a bunch of dudes with high verticals. I mean, I know that they're athletic standouts, but those guys is like real standouts.
But have we seen another Will Chamberlain though? A nigga that's 7 foot that can go win the NCAA championship and long jump, and you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But we would think now that it's more 7 foot.
You'll probably never see another Will Chamberlain for a bunch of different reasons.
What happened?
Now he said, "Will we ever see another Will Chamberlain?" I said, "We probably will never see another Will Chamberlain for a bunch of different reasons."
No, he was ahead of his time.
And you'll never see the game be that small ever again either.
That's a misconception right there. Let me push back against that a little bit. Like this idea that he was playing against a bunch of 5'3" postmen and stuff like that and everything else. And that's That's not the case. No, the average NBA size today, I read it. I think it was like 6'7" and some change or some shit like that is the average height of the NBA today. And back then, the average height was like 6'6". So it's only like an inch higher today than it was back then. So he
But is that the centers though? Like, does that mean he wasn't playing against 6'8", 6'7" centers though?
A couple. It was a couple, but those were oddities, right? Like people bring up people like Wes Unseld. Wes Unseld was a notorious short center. I think he was only like 6'6", but he was an oddity though. Like he wasn't that wasn't the norm at the time. Your center was at least about 6'10" or better at the time back then. 6'9", maybe you might get away with 6'9", but that's about the smallest you'll get.
I don't know, because when Will Chamberlain, I'm thinking like young Will Chamberlain, ain't that like the 50s? I think that's way back there.
Will started, he was in college in the 50s. I think he got drafted like 60, 61, I think. Don't quote me. I think it was 61. Bill Russell was playing in the NBA in the 50s. Wilt came in like I want to say like 60, 61, something like that.
Okay. I might got my time and stuff there. But I don't know. But that's just like my natural leaning towards it. I don't think that there's as many people who are 6'7" plus in any era that like today. Like today, you got a bunch of people who you would say is 6'7" plus, super athletic, run fast, jump high. And they might be coming off the bench, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that might just be a regular dude in the NBA. I don't think that person has been all over the league ever like he's been in it now, right? Like I don't know if y'all like some real basketball players, but every time you get somebody who's good on offense, you want to put size on them, right? So size is like one of the big things that you are looking for in somebody who should make it hard for a person to score. And of course, you got all the athleticism and before you get into anticipation, all that kind of other crazy shit. Just a tall person, long limbs, that's able to move, like that's always going to be tough. And you got more of that now than you've ever had.
No, I don't think so. Like these like you want to talk about short centers. Today's centers are only like 6'8". Like Trayvon Green be playing center at 6'7".
It seems like we getting smaller. Can we look at our USA team? We like the smallest in the world.
Outside of Wembley, like a lot of these people be like these centers be short. Like Embiid too. I mean, but like and Wembley is 7'4". In the 80s, you had Ralph Sampson who was 7'4" and athletic. Ralph Sampson was ahead of his time. He was a 7'4" dude that was playing small forward. So you got to be athletic, be 7'4", play small forward. So and Wembley can do it too. Wembley can do it too. So I'm not saying like these players don't exist today. I'm just saying they existed back then too. Now injuries hurt him. That's what messed Ralph Sampson up. With injury.
Oh, so okay. Let me try to make the argument like this, right? Do you think like an Obi Toppin, right? Obi Toppin, regular dude, he get traded to almost any NBA team. He not gonna like move the needle like that, right? But as far as just like a one-on-one defender, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but the same, huh?
He's a good defender.
Oh yeah, he can do that. If you know what I'm saying, yeah, he can do that. But I'm saying like that, he seems to be like really common now. Do you think he was really common in the 80s?
Well,
I think every team's got almost two or three.
He wouldn't have survived in the NBA of the 80s because the NBA of the 80s was a little bit more physical, and he would have he couldn't do well. I ain't gonna say he couldn't do what he did back then because Barkley was 6'4" and out of shape, but was athletic as hell for a 6'4" fat dude. Like Barkley was able to do things that the average 6'4" fat dude at his time, they just wasn't doing what Barkley was doing. Like you got to be athletic, but to be able to do the things he was doing at his size, and he was playing power forward. Another thing, another key. Olajuwon. A lot of people think Olajuwon was a 7-footer. Olajuwon was actually only 6'10".
No, but it's hard. It's hard to. I didn't know that, but it's hard to make a comparison to people like Charles Barkley because you don't see a Charles Barkley, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's an anomaly in itself. The fact that he out of shape and athletic and getting it done, like, you would think of a bunch of people who out of shape and athletic and don't get it done. You know what I'm saying? At the moment, he was getting it done. So it's kind of tough to say, like, he an all-time great player. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever sort of, like, drawbacks that you think he should have, he clearly is able to overcome them with something. You know what I'm saying? That's how he's able to score, even though he's undersized or fat, or, you know, whatever it is. Like, the nigga all-time great. So I think the conversation got to stay within the other guy, right? Like, I can't compare the top end guys with, like, at least I don't think it's as important to contrast both eras with the top end guys. It's those middle guys, those Obi Toppins, right, that actually fill the roster that I would say is the real quality of the league. You get what I'm saying? Like, the real quality or the ability for those guys to either shine or not shine that night is really depending on how good that Obi Toppin nigga is. You know what I'm saying? So if he going up against Scotty that night, he might not look like, you know what I'm saying, a Hall of Fame nigga. So if you got more people who score now, right? If the score, like, however you want to draw that up, if there's more scorers now,
because of 3-pointers, that's why the scoring is up.
So the moves ain't up either. You don't think the creativity, the ability to get the shot off is actually better too?
No, the rules changing, they gave them the ability to be able to get the shot off a little bit easier. You know, the changing of the rules with dribbling and everything, the gather step, that's really a walk and stuff like that. You know, but I don't even want to get, that's a whole different aspect right there. I just want to stick to, like, the athleticism part of it. And that's fair. You want to keep it on, like, the more middle tier role players like Tomlin and everything. Jerome Kersey, I'll shoot that name out to you. Jerome Kersey, it was athletic, played defense, could score, you know, solid player, not a superstar, but a solid player on your team that's going to help you win. 6'8", and was hella athletic.
Okay. So that's and who are you saying he is like the today's NBA equivalent of?
I'm just naming somebody who's middle of the road that kind of fits the criteria that you was using with Toppin. Like,
okay, like, yeah, like just a middle tier guy. You know what I'm saying? A journeyman kind of sort of.
Yeah. He was more of a mainstay, but he was still like, he was like the third, fourth option on the team, and, you know, like, he stayed with one team for most of his career.
Okay, I see him with the 40-inch vertical.
Yeah, he was in.
I might be sleep on some of these old niggas. I ain't ruled that completely out yet.
It was a dunk contest, but like I said, like, I would give, like, I think it's because of the creativity, right? People see the creativity in today's dunkers. They doing dunks today that motherfuckers wasn't doing in the 80s and 70s, and it seemed like they're more athletic, and when it actually is more creative, right? Like, they just more creative, and I will give them that. And because of the creativity, they able to, you know, perform different things that if the older guys would have thought about and practiced the same way they got a chance to practice, they'll be able to do similar things. But they didn't think to do all that. You know, back then creativity was a 360. And that's a tough part of the argument. I mean, if Shaq was able to shoot threes, we don't know what he could have did, but, you know, it's hard. Well, I would say Shaq wouldn't be hitting threes.
I'm being hyperbolic, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. I definitely wouldn't want to see that ugly ass shit, but yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Shaq my dude too, by the way. I'm a Shaq guy, but yeah, he ain't hitting no fucking threes.
Nah, Shaq is the real deal.
Hey,
I
so
might have to
what?
take Shaq over Wilt.
So what y'all feel about SGA? You know, being able to do all what he can do, but he's really not athletic.
He's a
You know, he's
throwback.
not jumping
He's
out
a
the rim.
throwback
He's
as
not
far as
dunking on people. He's not making
yeah.
like spectacular.
He's a
You know,
throwback as far as like he making the mid range cool again. I'll say that he's making the mid range cool again. He's got he's bringing he got that slow old school Adrian Dantley type of game. So he's kind of a throwback in that way. And I don't like all the flopping around stuff he does though. That gets on my nerves.
Yeah, the free throws got to go. But if he could do a little bit less with the free throws and still be dominant, I'd like his game a lot more. But he's clearly unguardable, and ain't nothing you could do with him. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when you that unguardable, like you damn near should be like, how else can I score? Like instead of like, how many free throws can I get? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, go
so
out.
with the world catching up with us like this, is it just in? Is it like it's? I mean, we ain't got nowhere around it. They just gonna end up surpassing us because it's just too many of them.
No, I think they had just as many good players overseas back then. I think, like I said, I think the way the game has changed, it suits those overseas players more today. It's not that the overseas players are getting better. It's just that the league changed its rules to where this league is better suited for them now because it went more towards the international rules and international style of play. Like I said, 3-pointers and mid range, they made the way the cracker can survive more, right? Because like I said, it's hard to say that this era is more athletic when I don't see them use their athleticism mainly. Like they usually just standing around shooting threes and like they doing the 5 and outs and the game is suited for the overseas players. But if Tony Kukoc came into the league today, he would be a superstar if Tony Kukoc came in the league today because the league is totally centered. The way the league rules are and the way the style of play is today, it fits his game better than it did back then, where he was getting bully balls and everything else, and he ain't know how to handle that shit. But in today's game, where motherfuckers ain't really playing a whole lot of defense and everything, Tony Kukoc would be cooking in
So
today's
who you
game.
got for this lineup? Let me come with this crazy white boy lineup right here. So we got Steve Nash, Luka, goddamn Bird, Joker, and Dirk. Who we got for that?
That's not a bad all time. Well, you got to throw Larry Bird in there if you make it an
that's what
all
I'm saying.
time cracker team.
All time cracker starting 5.
Yeah, you have to go with. Yeah, I'm okay with Joker. Steve Nash is a bad pick. It's either him or Stockton. That's debatable. Which one
Steve
you want?
Nash got that
Him or
MVP.
Stockton. But both of them will be on the team. I don't know which one will be starting. Both of them be on the team though. Joker's starting. Dirk is starting. Larry Bird is starting. Now who's the 2 guard? Luka. That's not bad. Yeah, I mean, either Luka or Chris Mullin. I'll probably pick Luka over Chris. Yeah, Luka. Chris Mullin come off the bench. Yeah. That's a tough 5. That's a tough 5 right there. That's a tough 5.
Who we got for that?
Oh shit, man! I'll pick a 5 out. Cook them though. That's a tough 5, but I'll pick a 5 out. Cook them. What era? I can use any era. Or we just keep it within like what we
any
doing?
era.
Shit, you got to have me up here. Shit, give me motherfucking Jordan, nigga. give me LeBron at the 3. Give me motherfucking who's gonna run? Give me Magic at the point. Fuck that. I'm going out. We gonna get Magic at the point. We gonna bully the shit out of them motherfuckers. Motherfucker, give me Tim. Give me 10 at the 4. Tim at the 4. We can pick anybody. So fuck it. Give me Tim. And at center, shit. Pick one, motherfucker. Shit. I'll take Wilt, Kareem, Shaq, Moses Malone. I pick one. I don't care. Like whichever one, I'll let them. I'll flip a coin. I'll take whoever. Whichever one of those 4, I'll take.
That'll be nice. That'll be a nice matchup right there. That'll be a classic. Man. Hey, OG, I'm finna get up out of here, man. It was a good one, man. I'm gonna catch up with you on the next one.
You already know. Yeah, I'm about to get up out of here. Appreciate you.
Yeah, one. Definitely. Stay up.
All right, Bino. All right, family. I guess I'm about to get ready to get up out of here. It was cool. Got a little barbershop talk going on. Then it's 2:00. I need to get me some sleep. I got shit I gotta do tomorrow. So yeah, family. I appreciate all y'all for coming through. Please click like. I'll be back on tomorrow. Man Cave, be on the lookout for that. Next debate will be on Tuesday. That'll be Taz versus Chocolate. Be on the lookout for that. And I want to give a peace and black power to everybody. I'm out of here.